Hello, everybody. We are back for our 21st episode of Almost a Party. We have most of our group here tonight. We've got one member out. They just recently moved and are exhausted from it, so they will not be joining us this week. Hopefully, we will see them back next week. To recap where we last left our players, they had finished up some business in the city of Harrington and had been assigned to go and investigate some missing children near Typhon's Folly. However, upon hearing that they had the opportunity to go to the City of Steel, they decided to take that chance and were teleported off to the City of Steel on a different continent. Upon arriving in the City of Steel, they were greeted by several forged and a network of unmanned carriages that could take them anywhere they want to go in the city. The party split up to find some different information. They found out that they can indeed be teleported back for a fee and began looking around for the City of Steel. After finding the artificer, Alvin Glitterbelt's place, they found out that they can take lessons from him and that he is currently off on vacation, working on some things, and is out. So the players have 5 days if they want to wait and meet for him. In other news, they found that there is a tournament that Forged enter in and can compete. So you are in the City of Steel. You are in your inn and have rested for the evening. On your morning, the city is yours. What would you like to go and do in this city today?
Have more money, I feel like, is the main thing we want to do.
Okay.
But that doesn't seem like there was many good ways to do that.
Right. So the City of Steel isn't a city for adventurers typically. It's not a place a lot of adventurers come. It is a city that is full of technology. It is got a lot going on, and so there's a lot of labor force here, but there's not a lot for people that require adventurers to go out and do things. There is a few ways to make money, one of which includes fighting in the arena if you are a forged, or gambling if you are not. And then there are various odd jobs that you can pick up in the city.
Didn't we end going into a bathhouse?
Some of you went off to a bathhouse before the um,
End of last stream.
before the end of last
Yeah.
stream, before you returned to the inn to sleep. But we had gotten you your
Right.
rooms,
Okay.
so
So we didn't come to a consensus as a party, right? In character, we talked about out of character if we're staying the 5 days or not until Nomi Stark comes back.
Alvin Glitterbelt.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nomi
Novi Stark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had, no.
So Zerdig will share with everybody that he really wants to stay and meet Mr. Glitterbelt. But as a character, that might not be. As a player, that might not be the most prudent thing. But my character really wants to do it.
I think we had generally agreed that the characters would probably discuss it kind of in the background. And right now we're leaning towards we should probably go back after seeing a fight at least, because we came all this way. We have to go see the local cultural event.
I mean, we did
I-
agree
I-
to look into stuff.
We've agreed to a lot of things. We agreed to help the Knolls be free, and that didn't go very well.
We agreed to keep a secret for a whole other town that's out to kill us if we give it up. So
Attempts were made.
attempts.
We also agreed to deliver a very specific message for our former party members. And about 45 days later, we sent the message.
No, it was.
We
We
was
couldn't
like-
send the message while we were in the underground.
Yeah, it was like 32 days.
You don't go to the people that
We need to-
captured us and be like, "Hey, can you send a coded message for us?"
Yeah,
We
let's
just need to
try.
find like a magical day planner in this world.
Seriously. Where can we get a virtual assistant for our party?
That's what we should invent. Remember, Tony Stark was like, if you can show him something he's never seen, an organized party
An
with a day
actual
planner.
virtual assistant. Yes, the Steel Defender becomes an actual assistant.
I mean, keep working on modding Z2 and we'll see.
So I think the plan is right now we're gonna go check out the arena more and then head back if we can.
Okay.
Does the city have like food pantries for like poor and hungry people? Because
I'm
if so, I'll go create some food and water for them.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess they feed the poor and hungry people to the
Yeah.
forged.
This is technical utopia. I bet they have no hungry people because they feed them.
Well, I
To
mean,
the
they do have
forged.
storehouses and things like that they feed them for sure. So you can go and use some spell slots to provide some additional food.
Yeah, I'll tell the people. I'm super giddily. There's a temple to Otterwell here. You guys can go see the fight. I'll be hanging out helping people down there. Come and get me when you know what you want to do. And he like runs off giddy.
Zerdig will
Technically,
very
you
help.
did that yesterday.
Yeah, and
We
he
did
could definitely
again.
want more.
That's true. You
But
can't get enough.
Zerdig would point out to Alondiel that those spell slots are worth a lot of money here. They sell them. Maybe you should too.
Yeah, because it's going to cost us $3,000 to get back to the other continent.
Hot dang! Wow. That would have been good to know before we came.
That's if you teleport.
We could also take the very slow route back home, and probably everyone that we're hoping to help dies.
Teleport definitely
Is
seems
there
like
any
the
sign of
best way.
druids in this city?
Make an investigation check.
Investigation. That's a big old natural one.
Um,
Starting the game off right.
every time you kind of go and look for places that you think might have some kind of sign of druid, you are greeted by a group of forged who seem to be impressed with your old model. And then by the time your conversation ends, you forget what you were doing there and you just kind of move on to the next place. So, as far as you are concerned,
Okay.
there are no signs of druids here, just a lot of more modern looking forged who are very interested in you in your old age.
So when maybe the second or third group comes up to me and starts kind of, are they? It's not necessarily worship, right? They're just fascinated that I'm old.
Yes. So they haven't
I still
seen
think
one of you functional.
backup plan is we sell RA to a museum and use that to fund things.
Yeah, this like the second or third group that kind of stops me and today and kind of gets like, "Ooh, you're interesting. You're old." I'm gonna have a conversation with them.
All right. Yeah, so as they come up to they stare for quite a while and then they go, "How are you able to still get around so easily at your age?"
I, sorry, I was reassembled a little over a year ago in the city of Drusus. Where would I be able to find more information about my particular model? You all seem very fascinated with how old a model I am.
Yeah. We've not seen one quite like you except in record books. Um, Alvin Glitterbelt will have those records, as he is the greatest creator here. He keeps a detailed record on very old models. You seem to be even older than any he has in his books, though.
From my estimation, I am originally over 2,000 years old. What is the oldest model on record, do you know?
We have one that's on display at his workshop that is 1,600 years old.
That is fascinating. I was just at his facility and I didn't remember seeing it in like the foyer or the lobby or anything, did I?
Correct, it's not there.
Where would I find his laboratory?
His laboratory is on.
Or workshop, I guess.
So his laboratory. So if you ask for the workshop, or are you asking for the laboratory?
The workshop is where we've
Well,
been.
I think they said workshop, so wherever they said is
Okay.
where I would like to go.
Right. So they direct you back to where you were. So the workshop is the name of the entire building.
Gaia. Thank you. Yeah, and after that, I would be interested to try and get back into Nomi's place and take a look at the old models that he has. Because we didn't see them where we were, but I'm assuming there's more facility than we were able to see, right?
Right, because it was a massive tower, and you guys only went in onto the first
The
floor,
first floor.
and
Yep.
you talked to 3, and had some conversation, signed up for some classes, rented a workshop room, and or talked about renting a workshop room. I don't know if you ever committed to that, Zerdig.
We didn't. Zerdig was gonna do it if we're staying longer, and then if not, he's not. But if we're staying longer than today, he will, because he wants to start working on his new prototype firearm.
Right. Yeah, but then you turned around and left without going through anything else.
Yeah. If Ore wants to go back over there, Zerdig would definitely come with him because he's super excited and a big fan.
Yeah,
Of Mr.
Ori
Goodwill.
absolutely would like to go back and kind of explore more of the history of the Forged in this world and see what more information he can get. Because of that statement, the oldest one they have on display is 1,600 years old. Ori is very much more intrigued into what he actually is now at this point.
Okay.
Should we go in, Ore?
But yes, I'm most excited to see more of the history of my kind.
You sure
But you
sound
also
like it.
were looking. You were also. I'm laughing now. You also wanted to use their workshop facilities for construction of your firearm. Is that correct?
Yeah, excuse me, Ore. I meant you want to go back over there. I gotta have a hero's voice, Ore. He continues on with his trying to find a hero's voice.
Not going well, is what it sounds like.
He keeps switching it up. He's gonna have to find
Yeah,
one eventually.
he'll find one. Yeah.
He's very young for an elf. For context, if people haven't missed it in the previous one, so every now and then he busts out a different voice and tries it out, and then decides if he likes it or not.
Yes, I understand the voice of your heroism is very important. I think I'm slowly turning into Emo Phillips the more I do this.
You are, yes.
Yeah, all right, Ore. Let's go back to Mr. Glitterbelts, and let's go look around.
Is this the next
Agreed.
day?
Yes, this is the morning
So
of the
we're all
next day.
together.
Yes.
I haven't been to that place, so I'll go. I'm excited. I just want to see the fighting too, but if we're gonna have to go to the museum first, that's fine.
Right. Satsi, what would you like to do?
Well, I'll probably stick with the group.
Okay.
I guess it is kind of interesting to see what Ore, how, not what Ore actually is, but like how old he is, and was he perhaps spliced with something else?
Interesting questions to find out for sure. Ito will probably go to the arena and watch the fighting as soon as possible. That just seems like something Ito would want to do.
Yeah.
He's
Ito would
probably
want to sign
attempting to
up.
come up with a plan where he can make himself look like a robot because he was told he couldn't sign up the
Exactly.
other day.
Right. Okay. So Alondiel, you have run off to the temple. Um, the rest of you, do you let Alondiel know where you're going before he runs off on his own? Or where to meet, at least?
Yeah, I think we would.
Okay.
I mean, he did run off pretty quickly, though. How
He
far is
he,
it from
he
the
said
temple?
like you can come get me at the temple when you're ready to go do anything else.
Yeah, so like midday we'll go meet him and then go see the fights.
Okay.
Place your bets now. Do we forget to pick up Elandil and teleport home?
No, I was thinking we forget Ito. Like,
That would be even
just
funnier.
completely planned. Yeah, we forgot Ito. We go away. He's in a city of robots that he doesn't understand. And then we're like, oh shoot, we forgot Ito. And then we have to figure out how to
Ito's
get him back.
Weekend at Steel.
All right. Okay, so Alundiel, for you, making to the temple and helping with providing food, pretty basic, simple. Especially for you, it's routine. You've done it many a times, um, so fairly simple
Yep.
for you to do. For the rest of you, you arrive at Alvin Glitterbelt's workshop again. You go inside, and there is just, again, a single Warforged behind the counter. This is not the same as the one who was there yesterday. And for those of you that were at the festival, you do not recognize this one at all. This is not one of the ones that came to the festival. As you enter in
Hello.
and approach, hello, welcome. What can we do for you today?
Hello. We were hoping to see the Museum of the Forged. I was informed it is at this location, and my friend Zirdig would like to use some of the workspace if that is still available for him.
Indeed, we have bays available. They are 1 gold per day. How many bays would you like? Is it just the one for your friend?
Yeah, I'm just gonna need one.
All right. And then our museum. We do not charge for entrance into the museum, but we do accept donations to help keep the museum in good working order. You will see that there are bins spread throughout the museum exhibits. Please feel free to donate as much as you enjoy the museum. The museum is up on our 10th and 11th floors. You may take the stairs.
Thank
All right,
you.
here you go. I'm gonna give you 5 gold right up front. I'm sure this is gonna be a good museum, and I need that workbench. So thank you very much.
All right, so that's 1 gold for the workbench and then a 4 gold donation.
Yes.
All
Is
right.
there a pronoun for androids?
I use
Sorry,
they,
Forged.
them.
forged. Yeah.
They're people, so
You may also call me Seven.
Sorry, that wasn't in character. That was out of character.
yeah. It's
So
too
My
late.
character
yeah,
would
Too
know
late.
that. I would hope.
yeah. Each has their own. So like Ore uses he, him.
Got it. Well, he would just call
It
him
is
7 then.
it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Seven.
It is nice to meet all of you as well. You, my elf friend, you can find workshops on the 2nd and 3rd floors. So when you get there, just use this to key the room to you, and this will let you in and nobody else. And he hands you this small little metal card.
Whoa, this is so cool.
Can we
Zerdik
see the
breaks his hero
stairs?
character already.
from where we are?
So he directs you to the stairs. They are down a hallway and to your left.
How centaur compatible are these stairs?
So these stairs are about 15 foot wide, and
Okay,
they
so
go up
relatively.
and then have a small landing and then turn 180 degrees around. So, and just back and forth. And so they're 15 feet wide, so plenty of space for you.
Nice.
They
Would
meet
long
we
way.
be
centaur
able
accessibility
to
standards.
What was that, Ore?
would we be able to accompany our friend in the workshop?
That is up to him, but he will be the only one that can enter it with that key that we gave him.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have you
Understood.
join
Thank
me.
you. Yeah, Ore just really wants to see the workshop as well. He wants to kind of see everything in this building, but he'll take what he can get.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I guess we go up the giant amount of stairs.
Okay. So you make your way upstairs. Do you want to try for a workshop on the second or third floor, Zerdig?
He was gonna get on the way down. He wants to go
On
to
the
the
way
museum
down? You want to
first.
go to the museum first? Okay.
Yeah. If it's on the way down, probably third floor, because that'll be the first one we hit.
Okay. All right. So you make your way up to the 10th or 11th floor. Which floor would you like to start on for the museum?
I figure since we're walking up, may as well start on 10.
Okay. So you get up to the 10th floor and begin looking around. As you pass through the doors to exit the stairway, you enter in this large open room that extends about 100 feet back and has a few doors off to either side that are just open archways. In this room, you see that there is a large wagon in here. And if you go up and approach, you can see that this is the prototype for the horseless carriages that are running around the city.
Hey, all right, look at this. This is pretty neat.
It is very. And he kind of looks at it for just a moment longer, kind of taking it in. I can see where the new ones have improved upon the original design.
You know, I wish we had Elandia here with us. He could make a go sketch. I could study that on the way back home. Maybe I'll have to bring him back here. It's free.
Right. So as you
Ask them if they can make a copy.
um, as you look around and you continue reading on the plaque, you see that it was first created, looking at the year on it, in the 578th year of the Age of Enlightenment, which is the age that you guys are in right now.
But what's the current date?
What's the current year?
It is 600.
Oh, not that long ago at all.
So the prototype was first created
Just 22
years ago. And it was created by Artificer Glitterbelt.
Shoot, Artificer Glitterbelt. He's so fly.
Was this like a lost technology then? And he recreated it?
No, this was the first. He created this 22 years ago.
Well, yeah, but forged in general, because like.
No, this isn't a forge. This is one of the horseless.
Oh, this is the horseless carriage. I'm
Carriage.
sorry, my brain got confused.
Yes.
Wow, what did they do before that? The city is ridiculous.
So, looking around, there are doors on either end that you can go out. As you look out the door towards your right, you see through there seem to be several glass containers that have a figure standing in them. And they seem to improve in quality, as you can see, as they go on and go around. And as you look through to your left, you can see that there is a bunch of smaller glass containers that have inside of them smaller objects of various sorts.
What kind of object?
Ore is going to
I mean,
proceed towards the one that has figures in it.
okay. So are you all going the same way as Ore, or are you gonna split off? Because it sounds like Zerdik was more interested in the objects.
He'll just point it out, but he'll go with the group. I mean, it's a museum. We're probably gonna see everything.
Yeah,
So.
we'll just kind of do the circle.
Okay. All right. So you make your way into the room off to your right, where you have the figure standing there, and Ore, you notice when you look at this. This is a forged, and it looks much more similar to you than any of the other forge that you have seen in the city. It's got a lot more sharp points in its design, similar to you. It's not as smooth and as well crafted. You can see that there's a lot more wood than metal being used in this, but there are bits of metal being used. You also notice it has your big eyes.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. How close were my features to the rest of this forge? You said the eyes are pretty identical. Anything else? Jawline, the kind of the weird top of the head that I have.
Yeah, so basically all of like the sharp points that are in you are present in this forged as well, whereas most of the ones that you see have very well rounded features to where, if you painted them, they could easily pass off of as, a very much humanoid creature that wasn't mechanical at all.
Got ya. What does the plaque say on this guy?
So the plaque on this guy says forged number 5. Creation of artificer glitter belt, and then it has the age as it has 1600 years ago, which let me go grab my timeline because I'm forgetting what age that was in.
In the age of 1600 years ago.
Gotta grab my timeline. I'm like, so.
Does that change from
Here.
kings to folly, or is it folly to kings? I think it's kings to folly, right?
Oh, sorry. You guys are in Age of Prosperity. That's what threw me off. You guys are in Age of Prosperity. That's what threw me off.
Right.
This is Enlightenment, is when this age was, which is before the Age of Folly.
So,
So it's old.
how long has it been since the Age of Enlightenment?
So the Age of Enlightenment ended 2,000 years ago.
So that car wasn't the age of enlightenment. That was the age of prosperity.
Age of Prosperity, yes.
Gotcha.
But this forged is from Age of Enlightenment.
Yes.
Got it.
So I'm looking them over. I recognize I don't have very much wood in me, but I recognize the similar styling elements. And I just kind of really look at them for quite a little bit.
Is this like an actual body?
Yes.
So there's a corpse there.
Yes.
We're pretending it's not a corpse because it's a robot person. But that's still a corpse.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like looking at a mummy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird. Is the wood and everything, any of the components that would have decayed, is that still in good condition, or is it like?
It's all in excellent condition, like it's been very well preserved.
Is it inside of a container, or is it just standing there?
All of these are in glass containers.
Okay. I want to look around and see if there's anything noticeable on the glass or anything that seems to be preserving this.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
21.
Okay. So looking around at a few of these, you notice that at the base of the glass on the inside there, you can see on the floor there are several runes that every once in a while will flash different colors.
Neat.
Like controlling the airflow and stuff.
Yeah. You're using advanced magics to preserve this body. That's weird.
Does the plaque say when this forged was deactivated or died?
So it has it that it was in the 1600 year age of enlightenment, and that it was deactivated in the year 1675.
He's just chilling. He's very tired. He's not dead.
And he was only active for 75 years, it sounds like then.
Yeah. Does it say like what his purpose, why he was built? Any of the information along those lines?
It doesn't have any of that information, just that he was the fifth created.
This is about the time where the rest of the party is probably like, all right, go on to the next thing. And Ori's like, but wait, my ancestors.
Yeah, or Ori, if everyone's going to start moving on, Ori's still just staring at this guy and like really taking in all of the details, looking for any of the differences, looking at all of the similarities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Mizeki still hasn't adjusted to the fact that we're treating them both like objects and people at the same time. Because in his head, they're just people. And so he thinks it's a little creepy, and he's going to move on to the next thing as quickly as possible.
All right. So this entire area that you are in is essentially a timeline of their evolution. So the next one over, if you look at it, has the year 1900 of the Age of Enlightenment written on it, and you can see that it is using a lot less wood than the previous one, but still has a lot of those sharp features.
I wonder why they became more round.
It's a question to ask someone who would know.
Have you ever been poked by a robot companion that you're working on? Let me tell you, it doesn't feel very good. That's why they're round.
I mean, I haven't, but people aren't round all the time. Huh. Weird. Is there anything that isn't the forged in this section, or is it just more of them over and over again?
So it is more and more of them. In total, there's about 30 different specimen along the different walls in this section. You can continue on into the next section if you would like, which enters into a section in there. There's a lot of the objects in here, and that just kind of circles all the way around back to where you began and entered in. So you can start looking at those.
Yeah, what kind of things are in those objects? Are they like little like taser guns and stuff, or
So
communication devices?
there are lots of varying different devices of varying complexity. Some of the most notable things are the first firearms are on display here. But there are several replicas of magic items in here as well. Basically, just showcasing what the artificers can create and have created, and what magic items are owed to the artificers' minds and intellect, what they created and came up with.
Whoa, this is amazing! Zerdig is gonna kind of lose it. Look at this! Look at this! Look at that! Oh my goodness!
So, for those of you that are paying a little bit more attention as you're going through, you'll notice in the room with the forge, there are 3 or 4 donation boxes spread out throughout that room, and as well as throughout the objects. There are several donation bins.
I do not feel any compunction to donate, as Zerdik has already donated a significant amount of money.
So Ore is still observing that very first forge number 5. After a moment of like just staring at him, he starts kind of looking over the body to try and see if there's any indication of a number denoting he's forge number 5.
From what you can see on him, there isn't anything indicating that that is visible on him. And you know that there's not anywhere indicating a number on you. So as far as how they got that information, your best guess is they know it because this is family history as much as it is forged history, because it says it was created by Artificer Glitterbelt, but there's no way that Alvin was alive that long ago.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is it like previous family created, or specifically Alvin, is he alive through long arcane means? After I kind of noticed there's no other glyphs or anything on him, it's just a fairly standard lanky forge body, right?
Correct.
After he slowly kind of walks away from that and kind of a little more quickly looks at the evolution on the other forges as he's going through, the last donation box that he sees in this section, Ore is going to drop in that emerald that he's been carrying for a while.
Okay. Go ahead and mark that off your sheet. So, but yeah, so as you...
Is it large enough? Is it...
Yeah.
That can fit in the donation box because it is a palm-sized emerald.
No, that will not fit in the donation box.
It will not. Okay, he's going to try it for a moment and then put it back in his bag and then pull out
Or is it
40
to shove
silver.
large gems?
Mm.
Well, he wanted to leave something substantial because this meant a lot to him. So he's going to pull out 40 silver and just kind of fill the box with silver instead. And then move on to the next group or the next room where everybody else is.
Okay. All right. So you continue on. You're going through the objects. There are, as I said, several creations of various artificers in here, as well as the very first firearms that were created in this world are on display here. Zerdig, in particular, you notice that there is this very long rifle that is on display.
Look at this. This is amazing. Look how big this gun is. I bet I can shoot a mile away. He'll say to
Fancy.
anybody who's willing to listen.
Yeah, Miseki is interested in the guns in general. One, because they're not bodies, and that was creepy. But they're basically a tech that he's not super familiar with.
Yeah, for sure.
So is that
He will
that long gun like a
1,000%.
is it like a musket or is it like a long rifle type thing?
Uh,
Can you
it-
identify it?
It is a long rifle. Full. You are able to. I mean, it's identified by its plaque, but you're able to identify it by sight, as it is something that Malco has been talking about creating for a long time, and just hasn't gotten around to getting it complete. But you saw his drawings for his design of it, and it matches very much in line with what his drawings were.
I'm gonna make that. He points to the thing, and he's like, "I'm gonna do it." Does he has all those gun parts he just bought, but he hasn't started his gun? Does he feel confident enough that he could start building this gun with those parts? And does he need more parts? He has like 350 gold worth of parts.
You will probably need more than that, because this is larger than the one that you were planning to build, because you were just planning to build the musket, right?
Yeah, just a musket.
Yeah, this one would be bad news.
Got it.
So
I will look that up, and Zerdig will get parts later, but he's gonna start on it. He's been inspired.
okay. So, but
Zerdig is also like super excited, like seeing all this stuff.
yeah. Okay. All right. So that is the 10th floor, and you notice that the 10th floor was pretty much all about glitter belts. Everything in there seemed to have been created by the glitter belt um, family somewhere along the line. As you make your way up onto the 11th floor, this museum, again, it has a lot of objects and various different things, but this is more centered around the city of Steel. And so there's more things than were created just by the Glitterbelt family. This is got a whole lot of people, and it talks about the design of the city, why everything is so vertical, why a lot of things are in towers instead of spread out. There is information um, about the Forge Mountains that are just to the north of the city, as well as some samples of metal behind glass containers that were pulled from the Forge Mountains.
Any details about, because we've been in the town, we haven't seen what the surrounding biome outside the city is, right?
Correct. You can see the mountains off in the distance, but they're a couple days walk at this point from the
There are
city.
ways.
They used to be much closer, but they have quarried enough of it out that it
Oh,
takes a bit to travel.
for a second I thought you were gonna say like they moved them or something.
Nope. So
They
They
used to be
did in
closer,
small
but
little
they
increments to
moved
build
them.
this city.
right. So like when you're looking at the sample, the plaque there talks about the metal and how it's a very special and unique metal, and it is what has allowed for the advancement of technology and forged in this area. And that is why they are named the Forged Mountains.
I want some of it.
While journeying through this town over the last day, have we seen any parks or trees or natural spaces, or is it all like stone and brick
Uh, it,
city?
it is very much stone, brick, metal city. Um, think like downtown New York City um, without Central Park.
Right. So there's not really any kind of green spaces. It's all urbanized.
Right. So there are green spaces
Gotcha.
outside of the city, which is why the teleportation circle is outside the city. There are green spaces out there, but not a whole lot. Once you get into the
Oh,
city,
so what
it's
was
very
the
much industrialized.
so the circle was on the outskirts of the city, not like in the center of the city?
Nope, it's on the outskirts of the city, about 300 feet from the city gate.
Yeah, we
And were
came
there
out of
any
the circle and
trees
then
or
went into the
any
city.
No, it is
right,
open plains immediately around the city.
plains, got it.
This is a very strange place. It's like all of the things that Miseki's not familiar with in a city, and now we're in the museum about it.
What better way to learn?
Comfortable couches, tasty food, and attractive people teaching you.
Okay.
So what you're
Um,
saying is you just want hot professors to crush on.
That would be Miseki's goal, yes. Moving
Legit.
on.
There's a second floor of the museum, or this was the second floor?
This
And
is
so
the
now
second
we're
floor. So yeah, so you were on floor 10 initially, which was mostly it was all artificer stuff, but it was pretty much kept exclusively to the Glitterbelt family. Whereas the second floor, the 11th floor, is about more of the city of Steel. Again, it's a
got it.
lot about the artificers and things here, but instead of focusing on the Glitterbelts, focuses on the city as a whole.
If we stay longer, Zerdig definitely wants to bring Alondiel here because he'll remember. There's some things he won't forget, like the bad news schematic, and then what Melko was getting ready. But he obviously can't remember all of this from one walkthrough all at once. So he'll go back to the temple in a bit with everybody else, and see if Alondiel has time to come and make some sketches so we can make some inventions together later. But for now, he wants to go back down to the third floor and work in the workshop.
Okay.
And I think the rest of us are going to the arena. Is the
Right.
plan?
So pick up
Ori wanted
Alondiel
to
and head
see-
to the arena.
Yeah, Ori wanted to see the workshop too. I don't know if Ori wanted to stay and work or if he just wants to see it.
Okay.
Ori wants to see
I
it.
think I think we're
and
gonna
then
pop in and just be
he
like,
would-
oh, cool.
Right, and then if he would offer assistance to you if you needed it. If you said yes, then he would stay.
Okay.
Cool.
So you make your way down to the third floor, and you go up to one of the workshops, and you enter your key. And as it does, it flashes red, and then you hear the um, word "occupied" come up as you remove the key. The light stops.
All right, well, let's try another one then.
All right. You go up to the next one. You enter in your key. The door flashes green and then swings open to the inside. Looking inside, you see that there are 3 workbenches, one on your left wall, one on your right wall, and one on the far wall across from the door. And there are sets of tools of all sorts and kind there. You notice that there are several buttons over each of the workbenches. As you get there and you look at them, you realize that they are written in many different languages, but common included, and they are different functionalities that you can turn this workbench into.
Whoa, Ori, have you ever seen anything like this? Oh my goodness, I haven't seen even Melko's workshop, but this is amazing. He's looking at all the tools and how they're neatly, arrayed. It's a very clean space. He's got 3 workbenches to work on and all the tools you could ever dream of. He is impressed.
Right. And you can turn each of the 3 into
It is-
different functions. And so you can turn them into a forge. So you can have a smelter and then your other stations along the way. So people that craft can craft from beginning to end all in these rooms.
Does it
Matt.
change the entire room or does it just change part of it? I want to see the changey part.
So if Zerdig would like to change, you can find out.
Show us
But-
the changey part.
But right now they are just
Sure.
basic workbenches, and you've got your tools there.
So he's gonna turn one into like a gunsmith's bench, and he's gonna turn one into a smelter.
Okay.
And then he'll just keep one as a normal, like generic workbench.
Okay. So the one that you change into your gunsmith workbench, and as it shifts, various objects begin to appear on it, as well as several stabilizing racks for you to set your pieces into as you're working on your guns. That way, you don't have to worry about holding them in the proper position. They will stay there mounted perfectly. And it just appears on there. It's not much different from your basic workbench, but it has the extra tools needed just already built in as you do that. But as for your smelter, when you change that, the entire thing changes where you get it to where it has just a small little oven enough for you to fit in what you need to melt down, as well as everything you need to purify the metal after it has been melted down so that you get exactly what you need.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
So the changing process, is it a mechanical one or is it a magical or is it like a blend?
It is a magical one, just purely magic.
I'm less interested now. I mean, it's
It
really
is.
neat, but like mechanical changing processes are interesting because boats.
Yeah, Zerdig is impressed. Not his reaction I just gave is accurate, but then it'll sink in for a second. He's like, "Yeah, it's just magic," but this is still really cool. And then he'll get
It's
to work on his gun.
amazing, but also it's just magic.
Do you want me to make any checks for the gun? We can handle that all offline, but
Yeah. So you'll need to make a set of checks with your smithing tools to craft it. And so we'll do just one check per day. And
Cool.
that will determine how you succeed. You'll need to get so many successes before so many failures. Too many failures, and it will be scrapped, and you'll have to start over.
Can Ore help and still see the match, or is that going to take all the time? Because Zerdig doesn't want to ruin the fun of like seeing the match. He's really not super interested in the match though, unless Ore is going to fight, then he'll come.
Yeah.
But he's not really super interested in just like watching robots fight each other.
So you need to spend 8 hours a day working on it to count it as a day's worth of work. So Ore would miss the match to stay and hang
All right.
out.
Zerdig will. Can he have Z2 help him actually? Zerdig will tell Ore to go to the match, and then he'll just work in the workshop. And when the others go and get Alondiel, he'll ask them to send Alondiel back here to do some sketching later in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're here longer than just today and we do come back, or I would help with every other day after seeing the matches.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and how's it going to work when we're on the road if we go back?
He's just gonna. I mean, he'll take the prototype with him, but he probably can't work on it on the road. He needs a workbench and all that work tools to do to make progress.
And you see if you can get a kit maybe that you can work on it while we're going.
He has a kit and stuff, but he still needs like he can't just like tinker with the gun, like prototype gun on the ground with the dust and everything. He needs like a controlled space to do it.
Fair enough.
All
All
right.
right, that's
Through
How
the
many
Zerdig.
days do you
arena!
need to work on that?
Probably greater than 5 even. It's gonna take like a few weeks.
Yeah. It's you accomplish 50 golds worth per day at 25 golds worth per cost. So I think that's the musket is 300 gold, so that's 6 days worth of work.
Yeah, I'm looking up. I don't know how much bad news is, but it's
Um,
considerably
bad
more than a musket.
bad news is extremely more. It actually doesn't have a listed price. So if you're
Yeah.
starting to craft bad news, that is going to take you well over a month to complete.
You're
Great.
going to have some bad news if you want to craft bad news.
I got some bad news for you, partner. All right, cool. So Zerdig will relay to Ore to go enjoy the match, and he'll just get to work. And he's kind of like in the zone as you guys are leaving. You know, like the minute work sign with the guy with like the welding mask, and he's got the blowtorch going. That's kind of Zerdig. He's in the zone. He's just getting the tools out. He's already got like a stock there ready and getting all kitted, and he's just getting to work on this firearm.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else anybody else wants to do here in Glitterbelt's place before you leave?
Not unless he's going to come in through the door suddenly. No.
No. He is
So,
still got 4
yeah,
days.
he's busy. So, to the arena.
All right. So you make your way to the arena where you encounter Ito, who has been figuring out who to place a bet on after having tried for around an hour to get in and being constantly denied. Is sitting there looking at who to bet on for the upcoming fight. He's looking at bracket number 5, which is starting today, has their first match. So it's 32 contenders, and today the match is between Hammer and Climber.
Will the match be done today if we were to bet on it?
Yes, so that match is today. That is the only match of this bracket that is happening today. The brackets each have one match a day, and that's why they take about a month to limit down to who the winner is because they are typically 32 contestants and one match a day. But that is the next match that is coming up.
You said there's a guy here looking at which match to bet on?
Ito is
Yeah,
looking at
Ito
which
is the
match to
guy.
back.
Oh, Ito is. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, after trying unsuccessfully to get into.
Is there anything? So the match that's about to happen is Climber versus Hammer,
Mhm.
and that's going to be like soon. How
Yes.
long is that
So
match expected to be?
matches vary in length. It really just kind of depends. They've had a few matches that have lasted less than a minute, and they've had other matches that go upwards of an hour. It just depends on who is fighting and what tactics they employ. Some go right after each other. Some like to uh, be a bit dodgy and try and sneak around to each other and see how things go.
Cool. I'm gonna bet on one of them.
Okay. So looking at the information there, Hammer is predicted to win. And so betting on Hammer pays out 2 to 1 if that is true. Betting on Climber to win pays out 5 to 1. And then you can also bet on various lengths of time. So you can bet on less than a minute, which pays out at 3 to 1. You can bet over an hour, which pays out at 100 to 1. And there are increments in between.
How big are the increments?
So there are minute increments, and then there are also 10-minute increments.
Hmm. This is difficult. I will put down 20 gold on Hammer.
Okay.
Was the one that was 2 to 1, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I will put down 20 gold on Hammer.
Okay. Anybody else?
I will put 2 gold down on Hammer.
Okay. Satsi? Are you wanting to make a bet at all? And did you all
Yeah.
go grab Alandiel before coming?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Alandiel, do you want to make any bets?
Before I do, is using my channel divinity something I can do discreetly?
What does it say your channel divinity does?
And I call upon my god to cheat discreetly.
Um,
That's an interesting question.
well, just because Path of the Grave lets me like curse something within 30 feet of me to take double damage, become vulnerable.
So one, no, you won't be able to do it
Okay.
discreetly, and 2, you won't be within 30 feet of them anyway.
Okay,
So
never mind then.
For safety purposes.
yeah. So like the arena, when you get inside the arena after you've placed your bets, it's 70 feet by 80 feet, and it's down in there, and you guys are up in the stands looking down, and you're 50 feet up above them, looking down into this arena. It's a giant fighting pit. So yeah, you wouldn't be anywhere close to use that at all.
I want to see how these fights go, and I might bet on a second round, but the first round, I have no idea what expectations are, so I'm not going to put any money down.
Okay. All right. So you guys place your bets and are let into the arena. You find a place to take your seats, and you can see that the crowd is getting riled up, ready, and excited for the fight to come. As you are waiting around about 15 minutes later, you hear an announcer come over the crowd and says, "Our fight between Hammer and Climber in our 5th bracket match today will begin in 5 minutes. Please, everybody, make it to your seats and sit down as the action prepares to unfold."
Yay!
At this, the crowd begins to simmer down, get quiet as they are getting ready. Eventually, you see on either end of the arena, the doors open up, and you see two forged walk in, one from either side of the arena. So on the far side, the announcer comes in with this: entering in a former champion of the brackets, we have Hammer, and you see he is this brown-looking forged. Lots of metal there, but you can see that there is wooden pieces going around the outside, adding extra armor. You can see that his arm, he flips it out as he does, and it switches from looking like a regular arm to being a warhammer. And then he takes his other arm and does the same thing, and it forms out into a shield. And as this, several of the members of the crowd go wild as they're like, "Woo, Hammer!" And then coming in from the other end, you see in this dark navy blue color comes walking out there. The announcer goes, and coming in on the other side, a first-time participant, we have Climber. And you hear the crowd begin to go, woo, a few excited people about it there. And he takes his stance, and you expect for a moment for things to come out of his arms like Hammer did, but instead what you see is an additional 2 sets of arms come up out of the back, and he readies them all into fists.
Ooh. I should have bet on the Hammer dude.
I mean, mathematically, we could have bet slightly less than 20 gold on Climber in case he won and still come out ahead no matter who won.
Correct. You could have. So,
Hedging your bets.
it is definitely a way to go about it. All right. But as the fight begins, Climber just starts sprinting towards Hammer much faster than you would expect him to do so. And then with his forearms begins to wail on Hammer, who is holding up his shielded arm to protect against the blows. You see as Hammer just instinctively keeps moving the shield, manages to block all of the punches that are being thrown at him. Hammer then sees an opportunity, takes his warhammer, swings it up, trying to catch Climber under the chin. But Climber sees that with his second set of arms that he grew, grabs the hammer, and then pushes it off to the side. Hammer comes in, swings it around to come back down from the top. And again, you look at Climber, and he just looks and dodges slightly, rolling off to his right, dodging out as the hammer comes down into the ground, and you see bits of dirt and rock scatter.
Sweep the leg!
Climber gets up, starts running in, jumps up and goes in for a kick along Hammer, goes right up the shield arm, and then comes down, crashing into Hammer's head. And you can see Hammer looks a bit dazed there, and you see as Climber begins to wail on him, just several punches going through. Ooh, and then Hammer regains his stance for a bit, takes a big old swing with his hammer, connecting with the head of Climber, and you see Climber get knocked down to the ground. He stands up, and you can see that there's a bit of metal all dented on his face, and he goes running back towards throwing more punches. Manages to hit him with a left jab and then with a right uppercut, and you notice as Hammer gets knocked back and is down on the ground, and at this point Climber gets on and starts smashing. And then eventually you hear the voice call out, and we have a victor and an upset, Climber! And at this, a bunch of the crowd begins to boo. And you just see Climber begin walking out, forearms raised into the air, back out of the entrance that they came.
Such is the way of life.
Yep. It was fun to roll.
Yeah.
Alright, don't go in there. You're too young to die, I say as a player. I mean, yeah.
Hammer's not dead, right?
No, but he does. A few moments after Climber leaves, a few people walk into the arena, pick up Hammer, and carry him out back through his door.
Cool.
The people carrying him out, are they all forged, or are they just other common folk?
They are all forged.
They are all forged. Okay. Of the attendees, how many are forged, of spectator wise?
Of the attendees, maybe like
Yeah.
3%.
Oh, so everybody else who's watching is mostly non-forged.
Yep. So lots of people betting
Okay.
there. A few of them are the creators of the different forged, and some of them are just sponsoring fighters.
Got ya.
All right. And nobody bet on Climber. Everybody bet on Hammer. So that would be no
Yep.
winnings for anybody.
What were the odds between the two of them?
5-1 and 2-1, respectively.
Yeah. So
For
Hammer
Hammer
was
losing
predicted to win. He was the front runner. But after that fight, Climber is going to be much more respected fighter. This was his first tournament that he's ever entered, and Hammer has won a few.
Right.
I should have asked that question because you always bet on the underdog new guy.
Yeah.
You don't bet on the underdog who's been around for a long time, but you bet on the new guy because he's unknown, so his stats are going to be garbage because nobody knows.
Yep.
Darn.
It was fun
I
stuff.
feel like there's a lesson in there, but I haven't learned it.
The lesson is don't let the monk get off a stunning strike.
Yeah, that's a good lesson. All right. Is there going to be another match soon?
The next match, it will be in bracket 6, and will be starting in 2 hours. They
Okay,
give
so
plenty
that's a
of
ways
time
out.
with the matches because they can go for a while. This one lasted in total about 3 minutes from start to finish.
After they carried Hammer off into a doorway into another room. He's no longer visible to us, correct?
Correct. They took him back out of the arena through the door that he entered into the arena from, which is down well below where the stands are.
Got ya.
So I feel like we need to maybe send. How long does it take to get back to the museum?
With the automated transport that they have here, it takes maybe 20 minutes to get there from here.
Okay, because Elandiel was requested by Zerdig to go and copy the blueprints, possibly illegally. It's unclear if that's like property theft or not.
There weren't blueprints. There were prototypes of
prototype models. Yeah.
So
yeah,
there are no blueprints.
Zerdig wants him to draw them so that he can use them as inspiration.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they're displaying them publicly. I'd imagine if they didn't want people to know about them, they wouldn't do that.
Right.
It's a bold claim. Nintendo of Steel is coming after you.
They're gonna get you good.
We get a cease and desist order. Dear Almoster party, please cease and desist immediately. All labor on these schematics. They are too similar to our own. Signed, Nomi Stark.
So we want to send Elandiel for that, I guess, because they weren't super interested in the fighting when they found out they couldn't cheat with their god. Yes, no?
Yeah, I'll go help him. I'll go draw pictures for him.
What are the odds for the next fight?
Okay. So the next fight is between Animal and Tester. And Animal is got 3-1 odds, and Tester has 2-1 odds. They are both veterans, and neither have ever won a tournament, but both have finished in 3rd and 2nd place a few times.
And what are the chances on each, like money-wise? I missed that part.
So animals at 2-1 and testers at 3-1.
Okay. I think I confused that information with second and third finishings.
Yeah.
Okay. So they've done both of those things, and both of those are true. That's not a really good.
Yep. Sorry,
Sadzi,
I
you wanna
flipped
bet on
that when
any
I
of these?
repeated it the second time. Tester is the better odds at 2-1 and animals 3-1. I'm like, when I repeated it, I'm like, wait, that's not right. So yeah. So tester is the favored to win the entire fight between the two.
Sadzi, do you want to bet on anything?
Not really. I mean, I'm just concerned that we keep enough cash on hand to be able to teleport back. But I was going to give you a portion of the winnings since I figure you helped. So I can lend you up to, or I can give you up to 600.
How much do we have? Because we need the 3,000.
Right now I have 4,500. Subtract 3,000 from that, that's 1,500. And I figure if I try to divide it fairly equally, then you and Ito should both get like 600, and I would have gotten 800, but I already spent 500 of that. So basically, you and Ito both have 600, and I have 300, and we still have 3,000 left for the teleport fees.
All right. I will take. It was 650, right?
600.
Can I borrow 650? I'll borrow 50 gold from the party, I guess. My plan is we put 400 on the 2-1 guy, and then 250 on the 3-1 guy. Either way, we make some money.
I will give you your 600 and your 50. You will pay me after the match, regardless of.
Yeah, sure. Because right, I mean, we don't make tons and tons of money, but either way, we make some money because 750 minus 400 is still, or minus 600. Yeah, that would still be 150 or so gold. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so yes, 600 to you, and how much?
50. 650.
Okay. So
And
650, and you're putting 400 down on tester
on the 2-1.
right? Which is
and
tester.
250 down on the 3. Yeah.
Okay. So you'll either end up with 750 or 800.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means we get like 150 to 200 gold.
Right.
Yay.
Okay, so Alondiel is going to run off. Who else is staying to watch the fights? Just Sadzi, Ito, and Mizeki? Or is
Sounds like-
Ore standing too?
I don't know what Ore's doing.
Ore's going to go with Alondiel back to see Zirdig
Okay.
and the
then
museum.
Let me see. I feel
We're
like
gonna find Ore creepily standing in the museum room. Look at him. He's naked.
all right. I feel like Ito's going to make a bet here.
Well,
Go ahead, Ore.
to be fair, Ore is also naked because he doesn't wear any clothes except for his cloak.
Well, yeah, but you have a beard and a cloak. We're gonna find you at the museum, and you've made a plaque for yourself and put yourself at the beginning of the line.
But for most common folk, a beard isn't clothes. Like I've been naked and I have a beard, so it doesn't quite work the same
yeah, but
way for Ore.
We don't culturally know. Is that how it works for Forge? Do Forge wear clothes? We don't know.
No,
Questions to answer.
Actually,
Also-
have any other forged have like facial hair or other facial adornments?
No.
in this town?
Nope. None of them have.
Okay, go ahead, Sazi.
I was gonna say, if you're planning to place bets for Ito, he also has 600 of the remaining gold from me.
Okay, let me add that to his character sheet. Let's see. Anybody know Ito well enough to know how much he would bet here? I feel like he'd be a bit reckless, and probably
Yeah.
bet like
Well-
200 at least.
Let's
I
flip a
mean,
die for him.
he'd still want to have
I would
some
say
sort of
100, but yeah.
yeah.
He
I'd say
rolled high,
100.
so he probably 100, 150 is my guess.
Okay.
Like he's not going to bankrupt himself on it.
I did
Right.
roll a
Well,
15.
he just got
Let's do
600
150.
gold.
Yeah,
so,
he just got 600.
which is
Yeah.
why I was like 200. That's a third of it. So
We'll do 10 times 15 because that's what I rolled on my d20. So he says 150.
Okay. And I rolled that he's going to be putting that on Animal, who is the 3-1. So if he
Nice.
comes out, he'll
That guy's an animal. He's gonna win.
yeah, he will come out on top. Okay. So as you watch this fight, you notice that in this fight, they neither of them have any weapons that come out of their arms or anything when the fight begins. Instead, you notice that the rocks and things that are in the arena all have things inside of them. So as the fight begins, the two forged, Animal and Tester, run over to rocks and begin breaking them open and pull out various weapons to use in the fights. You see there are spears, there are swords, javelins, all sorts of different weaponry that they managed to pull out, crossbows, bows. As it goes on for a while, this fight lasts about 30 minutes before eventually Animal is declared the victor and Tester is completely unconscious on his side of the arena. So that's going to get you an award of 750 gold, Mizeki,
Yeah.
on your bet, and that's going to get 450 to Ito.
Which means I need to add 100
Ito's rich.
because I
Yeah.
spent 650.
Ito
just
is up
Sazi,
to
the rich.
900 gold. So after that, and that is the last fight of the day. The next fight is tomorrow, starting with bracket 1.
Oh wait, I need to pay back your 50 and then add my 650, right? Because math. So I'm gonna add 600, and then you get your 50 back, right? Math.
Okay. So
That's why I'm writing it down.
how much gold did you have before you bet?
I had 650 gold from
Okay.
this and 7 GP additional.
Okay.
After the bet, I got back 750, right?
Right. So you would have 757 then. You owe
Yeah.
50 of that to Sadzi.
And I owe 50 to Sadzi. Yep. So I have 707 and Sadzi gets 50.
That's if you're only paying her back the 50. If you're not paying
Well,
her
yeah,
back
because the rest of it was mine. The
Right.
600 was mine. Yeah.
Right, but you could pay her back, some extra since you gambled with it.
This is Mizaki.
Why? The agreement was to pay back the 50. This is not like a museum.
Yeah, but she is your friend.
She is, and that's why I'm going to immediately pay her back the 50 as per the terms of our agreement. So add your 50 gold, Sadzi.
I did. I didn't expect you to actually give me anything. I hold no such illusions.
What?
I meant beyond the 50 you
Oh,
owed me.
okay. Okay, I was supposed to say, I haven't stolen anything except for a magical ring that contains a bad thing. And I didn't even really steal it, I just sort of claimed it.
Yeah. That's also known as stealing.
No, it was not theft. No one owned it at the time.
You don't know that. You found it in a
Well,
bag.
finders keepers.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you guys are wanting to do now that you have spent a day in the City of Steel?
I mean, we already duplicated the teleport circle, right?
No. You have not left town to go look
Nope.
at the teleportation circle.
Okay, we need to do that. Let's go do that, I guess. We'll talk to Alandiel. So we'll go back to the work bench place, talk to Alandiel, see how Zerdig's doing, make sure we get the circle copied, and then go talk to Mr. Forest Wizard.
Okay. So you guys are
What-
planning to do that and then just head back to Drusus?
Yeah, that's our current plan, I guess, unless anyone else has anything better.
Yeah, and
Well,
then from Drusus
when
go find those children.
yeah, Ore, when going back with Alandiel to Glitterbelt's, remind me the name of his place. The
Um,
Indubious building. What was it called?
so it's just Glitter Belt's workshop.
Yeah, he would talk to the lobby attendant and ask where he can find books on the history of Forged as well, and see if he can read any additional details.
Okay. Give me just a moment. I need to go let my brother inside. They are apparently locked out. So, give me just a moment and I will be back.
Oh,
So I guess Ori and Alandiel would go through and while they're drawing things. Alandiel, what do you think of this Forged?
Oh my god. You came out as only angry static noises.
That one in the book, the old one.
Yes, I'm
All
very
right.
interested in the fact that he's number 5.
Haven't we met number 3, or at least one that goes by 3?
I
You have
believe
met one
that's
that goes by 3, and you have met one that goes by 5, and you have met one that goes by 7.
but the one that Ore is talking about is supposedly the 5th ever made.
Forge number 5 in the case.
Dang.
Wait, that raises the implication. Is 5 a remodel of Forge number 5?
Or 5th
Or
of
is
that line, maybe.
or is the 5th one that he made, or the 5th of that line, or do they just
Is that a
when
rude
they're
thing
born
to
they
ask
roll
a
a d20?
forge?
I don't know. They're naked and they keep their naked bodies in a museum. I feel like most social norms are sort of off the table. We have to ask.
It's not naked, it's art.
Art can be naked? I don't feel like
Oh, true.
I'm just imagining a bunch of like elves and stuff in a glass case, dead thousands of years.
Yeah, but they would be
That-
mummified and wrapped.
Yeah, that
Not if you just constantly gentle repose them.
So,
This is why I don't like the idea of the forged like that. Like it's really creepy because they're just people.
right, but they're people made of metal and things that don't decay as much.
So yeah, Ore would be sitting there looking at the Forge number 5 as Alandiel's doing sketching and making notes of the blunderbusses. Or sorry, the rifles, or just different firearms.
So there are all different firearms. There are prototypes of each of the different ones. So there are um, some variations of pistols. There are revolvers. There are pepper boxes, rifles, muskets, and then there's the big one that Zerdig got super excited about.
Yeah, I'll ask Zerdig which ones he wants pictures of, because there's a lot and it's going to take time to get the stuff that I think would be useful to have pictures of.
The big one for sure, and whatever else you find interesting, he says while he's working in the zone on his gun.
Cool. It's probably going to be just the big one, depending on the amount of time.
And then a bunch
and
of like drawings of buildings.
well, and I'll have a ton of built. The stuff here is crazy. It's cool.
Right.
Ore, would you like a picture of that one?
I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, I'll
I wonder.
finish this gun, and then I'll get a copy of that for you.
Okay. So
Yeah,
how well?
Ore's just spending all of his time looking at while Elandiel's up here. Ore's just spending all of his time looking at Forge number 5 again.
Okay. Alandiel, how detailed do you want your drawings to be?
Like I'll do like a not very detailed, like full length gun, but then around like the trigger and external firing mechanisms that I can see, I'd probably try and do fairly detailed.
Okay. All in all, I will say that drawing will take you half an hour then, with the rough amount of detail that you want to put in it with what you can see. Go ahead and give me your performance check on that. You are proficient with your calligraphy or tools or whatever it is that you draw
With
with,
painter
painter's
supplies tools, yeah. So I get it. I'll roll it and then I'll add, because my performance does not have
Okay.
my proficiency. So that is a 15.
Okay. So yeah, it's a pretty good drawing there. And then after you finish that, you go and you make a picture of the forge that's labeled the 5th.
Correct.
How long do you want to spend on that?
I'll ask Ore the level of detail he'd like on it.
As much as possible, but I leave it to your discretion.
It's drawing. I mean, it's one of the things that Elendil did in Delastar, was like capturing like images of clan members as they died. So he'd invent this. He takes like death pictures quite seriously. So I'd give it a good amount of detail and time.
Okay.
And while you're sitting there sketching it out, Ore's just going to kind of speak aloud. I wonder what his life was like for that 75 years. What did he experience? What did he do with his time? What were
Where
his
did he die?
relationships like? Yeah, just Ore's kind of like really like imagining who this forge was and what his life was like, and just really kind of considering what this guy must have gone through in his 75 years before deactivation.
Okay.
And also, like, how did he die in such good shape? Or did they put him back together?
Oh, was Ore able to find information about books? Was he able to find out about able to go read up on the history of the Forged at all?
So there is information there. It is in Glitterbelt's private library. And so you would have to wait for him to get back to be allowed access in there.
Got it. Got it.
Why did we have to visit on the one time that he's not here?
Because you didn't know he wasn't going to be here?
If we had our magical planner, we could have. Curses.
We need to get Sending up and ready and say, are you going to be home?
You can stay 4 more days.
Guess we gotta stay 4 more days. Yeah.
We've committed to saving some people. We can come back, potentially. And then we just need to spend like a month here and make back enough money to pay for our teleport home and our living expenses.
Wait.
Well,
just thought of something.
you could.
We're paying someone to teleport us, right?
Yes.
So they can just teleport us to Hamlet.
Or we weren't technically told to go to Hamlet. We were told to go to Typhon's Folly, and I don't actually know if we know our exact destination.
But Hamlet's a way closer to Typhon's Folly
Yeah,
than
that's true.
Drusus is.
Hamlet is inside of Typhon's Folly, so we could figure out where we're
Right,
supposed to
and
go
we
from
also
there.
have a map of the region, so we could, if possibly, whoever we're paying to teleport us, say, "Hey, can you send
Assuming
us
we
here?"
don't end up in a wall.
Yeah, I mean, we would want someone who's familiar with it, though. Yeah, if they've never been there and saw on a map, it's like, oh, and now we're on the astral plane. Welcome to a whole new campaign.
That's true.
I mean, okay, let's see. Familiarity.
It's worth asking at least.
Circle to Drusus and then boat across Black Pond to Hamlet.
Yeah, we would be on the description table, which means we have a 43% chance of a terrible mishap and a near 10% chance of a similar area and a 20% chance of being off target.
Yeah,
Do we have a drawing of the circle in Drusus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We specifically recorded the Drusus circle when we started recording them.
Yes, you have recorded
I mean, it's
every
worth
circle
asking the
you
guy.
have seen. So
We could also go to that place with the gnolls if we really wanted.
yes, you could go down to just outside of Kuche.
Does Alondiel
You could
keep
also
the-
go to Orthrus or Mint because you have those circles.
Does Alondiel keep the circles in a different book? We're getting quite a few of them. Or are they just like scattered through his normal book?
They're in the book. And well, I mean, the book got made super nice down with the dwarves, so I've got
yeah.
room.
Yeah, when they apologized for unlawfully imprisoning you.
Yeah, they improved the book.
They did. Like, they gave me my book back in even better condition. So yeah, I'm cool.
They promised the
Stuff
same
just
or
kinda-
better.
Yep, and they
like,
kept it.
How
Please
many
don't lie to her.
miles? How many miles are we teleporting? I just want to do some hilarious math.
How many miles are you teleporting?
Yeah.
Around like 6,000.
All right. So what's 1% of 6,000?
600.
Yeah.
600.
We'd be only off by
60,
600
60?
miles.
Well, that's why we
No,
do the
it'd be
circle
minus
to
2 zeros.
Drusus.
So yeah, it'd be 60. We'd be 60 miles off. That'd be funny. Yeah, that's. Oh, I'm just getting a sense of exactly how bad off target would be, which is the closest to success. We would be off by at least 60 miles.
Right. Which could wind you up
ocean.
inside the ocean, inside the lake, in the rivers. It
in
could
the mountain?
in the mountains.
Like not under the mountain, in the actual mountain, and then you just take a bajillion force damage and die.
You know,
I'm gonna pass on that.
There's a lot could go wrong. This is why you have seen so many teleportation circles, is to prevent mishaps.
Yeah, because distances are so great here that the mishap chance is so massive because you're going a long way.
How about we resolve our business in the city? Well, first, we as a party need to figure out what we're doing. So we probably should have a nice dinner together and figure out what we're doing. And then, like, how we're getting home, because there's still an option of, like, taking a boat. And Zirdig at least doesn't know that Sadzi's going to pay for everybody. So he's like, I'm stuck here forever. Bummer.
Oh no, I'm stuck in the capital of artificers. Dang.
Oh no, and I have 150 gold to my name, and I can work for a quarter of a year. Yeah, almost half a year. But we probably should talk about this in character, and then make a plan.
That would be good.
A fun fact, if I teleport while inside my bottled respite, I come out at the nearest unoccupied space and I don't take any damage. Just a fun little.
That's kind of nice, yeah.
Yeah. It might be in the air somewhere or like deep underground in a random cave. But yeah, that sounds like our plan, honestly. I don't think we have any other plans. I don't have tools installed currently. Do you want me to add tools, Serdig?
No, it's fine. I can calculate manually.
Okay.
All right, so we meet up. Anyone have anything else to do? I was just rolling to see how well I made my gun today, but beyond that,
Oh, I'll
I
cast
think we're good.
guidance on you for your check. Boop, 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 boop. Just keep giving you a little pat every little bit, occasionally.
I feel so guided. Where did we say we were gonna meet up? We didn't, did
That's
we?
a bold assumption that we actually
Yeah, exactly.
agreed.
We're all
I
just gonna
mean,
assume we meet back at the end sometime.
yeah. We'll meet back at the workshop. We know you've rented it for the day, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, and Zerdig would be totally down to just keep working until everyone came, so he
yeah,
will
and
just do that.
you're planning to work an entire day, which is 8 hours of.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to do in the city?
I mean,
The only thing I can think of is actually waiting for Alvin Glitterbelt, just to get at least a conversation with him before we go, since we're all this way. But if the rest of the party wants to move on, we can.
I mean, at this point, we've made enough money that we could afford to stay a couple days. It's a situation of like, should we stay and talk to him, or should we? Is the couple days going to matter?
We can see him at Drusus during the festival.
Insanity, are we able to figure out based on like the maps and all, and some guessing, how many days difference the travel from Drusus would be, instead of walking along like the side of the mountain? Like, what's our time delta savings, I guess, if we're going along the road from Drusus at a good speed?
Make a survival check, or if anybody is proficient with cartographer's tools, you can instead make an intelligence check and add your proficiency with that.
Does anybody want to? Nice, that shows up.
That's a 12 survival check for reading that map.
Okay.
I'm a 22 survival check on reading that map with proficiency.
15.
I got a 7.
All right. So those of you that got over 10 know that you're at about a 10-day deficit to reach Typhon's Folly from Drusus, as you were from Harrington. Because Typhon's Folly extends much further south than it does north. And so you would have reached Typhon's Folly in just a couple days heading from Harrington, whereas it will take you about a full week and a half to reach it from Drusus. So you're already at a deficit.
Good thing Typhon's Folly is huge.
Yes, Typhon's Folly is huge, and you don't know where specifically you were going. So you are closer to
Yeah.
the hamlets from Drusus, but you are further from Typhon's Folly.
I mean, we did tell the counselor right in his presence our plan, and he didn't say anything. And I was like, good luck. So I'm going to assume that there's at least plausible deniability that going to the hamlets was a good idea.
Also, Counselor Harrington, it's not his jurisdiction, and it was not his request. So
Can we cast message or sending? Sending, that's right. Right? Is that what it's called?
sending, yes.
Do we have that, Alondiel? You're our highest level caster.
Actually, I think I might have sending. I don't have it prepped today.
It seems like it would be worth sending a sending. That's fun to say, to the actual counselor that we're doing the work for, and asking them where we should be going.
Is Alondale familiar with that counselor, though? Because they have to know them.
Yes. You have all
yeah.
met Counselor Goodman.
We've met Goodman.
I do have sending. I don't have it prepared. I can prep it for tomorrow, though.
So let's do that. Worst case, we stay the night. We'll sending him in the morning and ask him like, hey, we're currently in Steel. We have the money to get back if it's critical we do so now. Or we'd like to stay for an additional 2 days and meet Glitterbelt.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is that okay?
And then the counselor can be like, "We got it solved."
Yeah, and also worst case, we know where we're actually supposed to be going. And he's like, "Hey, we need you to come now, but we need you to know where you're supposed to be."
I approve this plan.
He's gonna be like, "Don't go to Hamlet. You actually want to go."
Well,
Don't go to Hamlet. Go to Hamlet.
so one thing that you would know already from the conversations that you had is he was not aware until you guys told Harrington who messaged him. And
Yes.
so he just asked you guys to go to Typhon's Folly to investigate. So there wasn't a specific place that he would know for to go.
Well, he could suggest us like, where should we probably start?
Yeah.
Since I assume he knows his region.
Right.
Like, don't go into the middle of hell nowhere. Check out this major city, and they can direct you.
Yep.
Is there? How much would sending cost? Actually, if we could find that out, that might be worth. Maybe there's like a group that will do that for less than $1 billion.
I can do it tomorrow.
I know. I just want to know in general.
So a sending spell will cost you 300 gold for casting because it doesn't have any extreme components and is a fairly low level spell.
Okay, so there's no like communications discount.
No.
All right, never mind.
Dang, I can
Cool.
sell that service.
Yeah, right. That's what we're saying.
Yep.
So I guess we don't have a plan beyond chill, have some nice dinner, speak to the counselor in the morning.
Sounds good to me.
Jinx.
You owe me a soda.
Okay.
In my family, it was always pinch poke. You owe me a Coke.
Yeah, fair. Okay. I would like to ask around and find a place that is less crappy, same food as everywhere. Not that the food was bad. It was the same food I could get anywhere. I want to eat something more unique, preferably some culture that I won't often see if possible, but if not, just something that I can't get everywhere.
Okay. So it's definitely possible to find food that is more unique to this area, but this area doesn't have necessarily a unique dish or anything to them.
Which is weird because like there's people that aren't the robot people and they eat.
Mm-hmm.
Do they just eat shitty regular food? They're like McDonald's is the best.
So, though they eat well, but like there's not a dish
They
like
don't have like a cultural regional dish. Okay.
right. So like there is lots of good food that you can go and find.
Forgot to bring up the little cakes with everyone's face on them. Well,
Yep.
not our faces, but we ate those by the way yesterday at dinner. We kind of ended dinner early, but you've all had little cakes with racial faces on them.
I thought you
It
only
was
bought
great.
3 cakes.
Well, yeah, but we split them.
Okay.
I didn't buy a ton of them because I had very little monies.
Now you've got plenty of money though.
Yeah.
All right.
Sadzi has pointed out this reminds her of the Mexican restaurant we went to in South Carolina, which was like looked correct but was horrible.
There was no flavor. It was like there was no lard or salt anywhere in like a 50-mile radius. It was the
was
saddest thing I've
really
ever seen.
Yeah. It's not my fault you guys went for the crappy food.
I think it is, but that's already passed. So we're going for like I want like Thai food or something. Something strongly a group here that makes their food and makes it well.
Okay.
I don't care which one it is.
What price range are you looking for?
I want to spend less than 30 gold for us if possible.
30 gold each or 30 gold
Total.
total? Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's a fancy meal.
There are meals that fancy here.
I know. That's why I wanted to make sure I clarified. Like for all of us.
Right. That's
Because
why I
there's
asked.
6 of us, so that'd be 5 gold apiece, right?
Yeah. So like, yeah, you can get a really good meal for that price. There. So the Supreme Nut Pub is the location you would want to go. It's a little bit more up in quality than where you were last night. And so it's a few steps up, but there are way fancier places that you could go and
Yeah.
spend, easily 30 gold each.
Is there any obvious iconography about what the name means? Or is this another situation?
No.
Okay, well then I have to ask them. What does the name mean?
Sometimes the name is just a name.
Is this like the lying cheese? The cheese of falsehoods?
They're like, what do you mean? Like,
There's
which
a
word
place called
do you not understand in our name?
explain all of them to me. Let's just go with that.
Okay. The is a
Yeah,
designation.
is a designation article. Got that.
Okay. Supreme means we're great quality.
Okay. Doesn't mean like it comes with a lettuce and sour cream.
We can add that if you want it.
I don't. It's just
Nut is like a food.
okay. So see, I was thinking like the thing that they go into the
You were
forge,
thinking like
the little
you,
thing.
like crazy, like a nut.
Oh, that's another one that's possible. There's a place called the Lying Cheese, and it's unclear if the cheese is laying down or if the cheese lies, like tells lies.
Wouldn't
And the
it?
answer is the cheese tells lies, actually, not that it's laying down.
Yeah. Well, because if it was laying down, wouldn't it be the laying cheese?
Both are valid. Anyway, have you been to the place that makes the cakes that can have faces on them? They're really good.
To bakers?
Yeah,
Sure.
they're delicious.
Bakers are okay.
Is it weird to get a cake with your own face on it as like a gift?
I mean, some people are self-important, so no.
Gosh, I don't know anyone like that.
Guys, thoughts on sending a cake with Duke's face on it to his brother? Thoughts?
Okay, that's creepy as.
Be funny as hell.
Nope, that's like bunny boiling territory. Nope.
We can teleport it to them on a little plate.
Right.
So awkward.
Because how are you gonna get it there and teleport it to them?
We'll be back. We'll be back at the counselor people, right? Because we're going to Drusus.
So you're
And
gonna
we
get
can
it
ask
to
them
him in
if they can
Drusus.
We can ask if they can send it to him, or let him know we need to send him something.
Right. So you do already know that nobody has
Nobody
Harrington's
knows his
circle.
destination,
Right.
but
So
we can sending to him and
Right.
ask him to come pick it up.
yes, you could do that without going back to Drusus, though.
Well, yeah, but we have to
Sounds
go to
very
Drusus anyway.
complex for a gag.
I just want him to have a delicious cake. Also, complex is how we do things.
Complex
Although
is
we
definitely
did-
how Mazeki does things.
We did talk last session about how this would be a great place for Sadzi and Duke to chill because it's probably like has the best food in the world or near it.
Yeah.
Did we have this discussion?
I don't remember this discussion.
In Steel?
Yeah. We talked about it last session, I believe. I'd have to go look at the recordings. Maybe it was in chat.
No,
We were
no,
talking
we
about
were
that.
talking about going to the Shimmering Isles.
Oh, you're
Wasn't
right.
that it?
Just go
Yeah.
to all the various locales with him because he's super rich
We're
and
going
has
on a
lived
world
for 3,000
tour.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. And has access to people who could teleport him.
Anyway,
Yes, because steel
Alright.
is for lovers. What else are you going to do there?
Make an awesome
the
gun.
Go
Duh.
to the arena and make a cool gun. That wizard tower is pretty
I just
cool.
can't.
All right, so we eat, we get a room, probably same place, I guess, if we can, just for familiarity breeds comfort.
Okay.
And then in the morning, I guess we'll message the counselor, Mr. Goodman.
All right. So you can all go ahead and take another long rest.
Yes.
Not that you need it because no one really did anything.
We get what, 25 words or less? Hey, I'm building a gun over here, buddy.
Hi,
Yep.
friend. I'm making firearms. Can
But that
I?
but that doesn't affect your long rest. So
True.
So I feel like we want to message him in Steel, the city. Where should we go in Typhon? Can teleport. Up. All the best. Looking forward to hearing from you.
We probably should ask if we're still needed.
Uh,
Probably something like in Steel, aid still needed? Question mark. Where?
I mean, we're going to. I guess we're going to Drusus anyway. This is just us asking, is it okay if we wait 2 days, basically?
Yeah, I think it's
'Cause
3 more that we're waiting.
No matter what, we're going to go back to Drusus at some point.
Yeah. I think it's just to put everyone's mind at ease or dis-ease. If he's like, no, you need to go now, then we just leave now. But if he says, oh, it's no big deal, we've got people working on it, like, I can't imagine we're the only people they'd have working on it.
I mean, they didn't know about it until we brought it up, so.
Well, that was Harrington and Co. though. This is the other.
I
first
like
counselor.
Elandiel's suggestion. That sounds good.
What was his
Yeah.
suggestion?
In Steel for 5 days, where in Typhon's Folly to start search. Have just enough gold to teleport to Drusus. Confirm if more urgent.
Sounds perfect.
We have one more word. I would like to add love at the end.
okay.
Peace.
Cheers.
All right, let's send it.
Can we put best
Sending.
wishes as one word?
Best. We have
Best
one
wishes.
word.
No, like
Best.
just swish it together. It's like, hi, I'm calling for It's a Boy Mama. Come pick us up,
Bob,
please.
we had a baby eats the boy.
Yeah. Is that, does it understand intent or is it just?
I feel
You
like it would
people
get
who-
abused too much if it didn't understand intent because you'd just have a bunch of run-on sentences.
Then we'll just add the word best.
I can make this whole program in one line of code.
You just hire people that are really good at speaking in a continuous run-on sentence.
Auctioneers.
Auctioneers tend to stop a lot, actually. They just have very brief stops.
Okay, fine. The people that do the disclaimers at the end of
There you go.
commercials.
Yes. How do we fit 2 paragraphs of legalese into 15 seconds? That's the guy we need.
Okay.
All right, so we're sending the sending.
All right. So when you send the message, you get your reply back. Duke informed me you were in Steel. We sent another group immediately after. We weren't sure if you were going anymore. Need to talk soon.
We told Duke we were going to go.
Did he leave?
And then you said, send us to Steel.
Yeah, we told him we're going to pop over to Steel. We even had an entire discussion about this in front of him.
Sounds like somebody's in trouble. It's us.
I'm leaving a
but
bad
somebody.
Yelp review for
Yeah.
Harrington.
Harrington. Counselor lied about our plans, even though we didn't know them.
See,
Alright,
I
so-
said this was a mistake.
So are we not needed? Is that the implication from that?
So the Yelp review is counselor lied, meat undercooked, 2 stars.
We were
Bob
given a
tried to
task,
kill us.
accepted a task, and then jumped off to the other side of the world.
With the understanding that we could teleport back. Like, that was the whole point of the plan.
We told Harrington, both of them, we were going across the world for a day and we would teleport back closer than when we left. And they stood there and said, sounds great. And then they
And then
messaged the other
lied.
counselor, hey, those dudes went to steal. By the way, they have no plan. The end. Like, that is duplicitous.
Yeah.
Come on now, Harringtons.
In their defense, we didn't pop right back.
Yeah, it's been 2
Well,
days.
How would they know?
Yeah.
Unless they're
Magical
spying
trackers
on
on us?
us.
Because you
They
didn't
are
show up
watching.
in Drusus, and they know when
Maybe
you
we
went to
teleported
steal.
into the ocean. Wait, are they spying on us in Drusus?
Now we know.
You would
It's
arrive in the
valuable
teleportation
information.
circle, which is always manned in Drusus. So
Fair.
yes, they will know when you arrive in Drusus.
No, the they is the Harringtons, though.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
they don't
the
need to be in our
Harringtons.
business.
Yeah, no.
I think the implication here is that the destination counselors knew that we hadn't arrived in Drusus yet.
Yeah, because Duke told them that you were in Steel. And so they sent another group immediately afterwards. You don't know when Duke told him that. You're assuming it was immediately after you went to Steel.
Messaged us.
I mean,
They
we've
could have
been here
messaged
for
us.
we've been here for 1 day.
So
Like,
you've now been here for 2.
well, we slept 2 nights.
Yeah.
This is the start of the second day that we've been here. Like,
Yes.
They could have messaged us. All right. I no longer feel responsible.
cool. Let's stay here till the King's Inn Festival.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna
Making
stay here.
guns.
Okay.
May I say cordially then that y'all all suck?
I mean, do you want to go back and find the missing people who someone's already tracking down?
I mean, that was supposed to be our responsibility.
But they just said they gave it away. It's been like
Yeah, they
36 hours
redistributed our
tops.
responsibility. In the time we still would have gotten there sooner than intended, they have redistributed our responsibility.
It seems pretty irresponsible on their part, knowing there's so many high magics. They totally could have just messaged us and be like, yo, where you at? And we could have been like, oh, JK, we're coming back now. See you there.
So you're saying you want to be micromanaged?
No, but
It-
if our responsibility is going to
Yes,
be
they
handed
are.
off, and the implication is we have failed, then they should at least say, hey, are you guys coming back?
Yeah, it's like you don't, if a worker's late by 15 minutes to work, you don't, when they walk in the door, you go, you're fired. Don't even come in here again, right?
We've
You
already
call
hired
them.
John. He's at your desk.
Yeah, you call them and say like, hey, you okay? And they're like, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. And then you figure it out. You're not like, oh, we hired a new person. Yeah, you're out of here. See ya. Like, it's pretty ridiculous.
I don't
people are-
know.
These people are terrible managers of people.
If it
We're
was
not good
retail, I could see
employees
that.
also, but I think we're all bad at this. To be fair, they have no security either for their messages. All right, at this point, do we have a reason to go back if we've been replaced?
Zerdig is
Besides-
100%
Besides
selfishly
the
going to
moral
vote no.
reason.
Yeah.
So I guess everybody vote. So Zerdig votes no, we do not return. Alandiel, what is your vote?
I vote that. I mean, if we said we were gonna help, we should have done that. You've still got to think with the ascending stone that goes to one of the counselors. We can
They're
get
in
another
hiding.
message off.
Yeah.
And they don't respond.
The counselor that's in hiding who hasn't responded for the last like 12 messages I've
We
sent.
specifically told them not to respond, and Ori just randomly spams them each day.
You've got mail. It's Ore
I hope-
again.
I hope you're doing well.
They
Today
did
I
say
saw
they
a
also
lovely
said they
butterfly.
wanted-
Haven't
they
heard back from you. Hope you're doing okay.
He also said
Is it
they
okay
do
if
want
I
to
eat
talk,
what's
so
in the
they
fridge?
do. Want us
On the
to
plus side,
return.
though, Ore, you have never gotten the feeling that the sending stone is not in nobody's or is in nobody's possession. Like you would know if nobody had it. That's one of the effects of a sending stone, and you've never gotten that impression.
Right. So I know he's checking my messages. I just
No, you
he's
know
not
someone
replying
is.
back.
You know somebody has it.
Right.
So,
Somebody
You have
has
no idea
it,
who.
and they're
This is the
ghosting me.
least
Got it.
secure form of messaging.
sending stones
like
are
this.
yes.
It's like those sales emails that are like 10 long in the chain, and they email you back again. I see you missed my last message. It's like, yeah, sure, the last one. Yeah, I missed that one exactly. Message number 12 in the chain.
I vote for going to Drusus. They mentioned that they wanted to communicate further, and
All right.
sending is not a very effective method for having a long conversation.
What do you vote?
I vote if they've sent somebody else and they've kind of dismissed us from this, then I'm okay waiting the 5 days.
They
However,
did express they want to
from
communicate
the
further.
that kind of urgency, it's just Ore would be like, yeah, we'll be on our way as soon as we can. Me personally, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you right away.
Well, and also, there's this thing called magic. So if they want to talk to us, they can send us a message.
Oh, I think, yeah. So, what do you vote?
25
as
words greatly limits the
Yeah.
effectiveness of
Or
what you can converse.
Ore really does want to wait and to talk to Nomi Stark before we leave. Like
Okay.
that's he would really like to wait out the 5 days. But
So-
if there is an urgency to go, he would go. He would be, let's go.
Okay, so
So-
Ore votes to stay unless there is an obvious urgency.
Which
Cool.
that's
Zerda
going to
wants
be up
stay.
to Alandiel's interpretation of that message.
Yeah,
So-
Elandil has to tell us what he heard.
I told you guys exactly what I heard back.
Local singles in your area.
I would like to get back, and I'm like, hey, if we can set apart time. The whole reason he's unavailable now is because he's working on a project for the festival, so we can just set apart time to meet up with him at the festival. We've got enough time. You can go to the shop, see if you can book an appointment with him at the festival on his calendar, and then we can
also
hop
just
back.
sending him.
How far away is the festival from now?
From now, it is 5 more months.
Oh, I thought it was a lot closer than that. Scratch
Yeah, I
that.
thought it was like 3 months.
With the area of the world that you are in, that is super close because of travel time.
Yeah,
Oh, true. Yeah, to cross that.
a lot of people.
huge
Yeah, a
ocean.
lot of people aren't teleporting.
Yeah.
So my roll results have indicated that I will vote on the side of we go back and talk to them.
Ito, based on conversations I've had with him, will also suggest you guys go back because you made the promise to go investigate.
Yeah.
And I don't think them sending another group would change Ito's mind. He's definitely the type where he wants to get a story, and doing that investigation will be
yeah.
a good story.
And Mazeki's stance on this that he'll explain is basically, we agreed to do this. We established our plan. We've only minorly modified our plan, and based on our estimates, we'll still be ahead of schedule.
Right. So it sounds like it's a 4-2 because Zerdig and Ore want to stay, and everybody else wants to go back.
Yeah. And Ore will
Ore
go
is
back
also-
if he understands the implication that it's important. So
Right. I mean, Ore still wouldn't mind Zerda getting enough time to work on his project too, because he understands the need for having a workshop to be able to do it in. But yeah, again, if there's urgency, then everything else gets to wait.
is there such a thing as a portable workstation that we can get that would be functional for Zerdig working on his gun while we travel? Not like while we're in the middle of traveling, but
I mean, if we got a cart, a really fancy wagon, and attached a stable workbench to it and took the road slowly.
I was thinking more
We
like
did have a cart.
Yeah, I was
We
thinking more
did.
like
They went back
after
with
in
his
the
lizard.
evenings.
Or what you do is you have Zerdig make a pact with your genie, and then he gets his own respite ring, which he puts a
Right, which
workshop
connect-
in.
Yeah, but you can only enter once a day,
That's all he needs, once a day.
and
But you can only
it's
do it for
based
so
on
many
warlock
hours.
level. Yeah, so you can only go
Yeah.
in. Or no, it's based on your proficiency bonus. So you could go in at 6 hours at this point.
He needs 8 though.
Oh,
So
that's not valid
just-
until we get another buff to our proficiency bonus.
So it just extends, how long it takes.
Zerdig will just stay here for 5 months and I'll meet you guys at
Oh,
the festival.
a wagon is only 35 gold. We could just buy a wagon and like 2 draft horses.
Yeah, that's only gonna be like 100 gold for like
Yeah.
135.
Can you work in the wagon for the full 8 hours?
Not easily.
No,
Not
it's
while
too.
it's
The goal
moving.
the goal of the wagon was not to work in it while we're traveling. The goal is that when we're done each day, he can pop in there and work on stuff.
Oh, that's true. He doesn't need a
Could
really long rest.
Since we're
Yeah.
not, well, I guess it's kind of moot since it's 4-2. I was saying if we were gonna go back normally, could we go back by a boat and could he work on a boat?
Oh yeah,
But
for
that's a
I'm
moot
not
point.
sure.
I'm not spending another several months on a boat.
Yeah,
Mizeki
because
would
everyone
not.
wants
No,
to
thank
teleport
you.
back right now.
It's less that I want to teleport back right now and more that I don't want to be on a boat again right now. We've been on a lot of boats recently.
I mean,
Alright,
Like
to be
will.
river
fair,
boats are good.
it's been like almost 2 months since you've been on a boat.
Yeah, but we spent more than 2 months on a boat before
Yeah.
that, so it
we
doesn't
don't
even
want
out.
another like 5-month boat ride.
Yeah.
How many more parts does he need to buy? He wants to buy the steel parts because they're pretty dang good.
You're going for bad news.
Yeah, he
You're
bought 350 gold worth. It was cut in half. It was like 100 and something gold worth of parts, which it's doubled
yeah,
value wise.
for bad news. You're gonna need in total 2,500 worth of parts.
Time to sell a kidney.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
it's gonna take a while, but you can acquire that over time. But,
All right. He's good to go back then.
I think we should get a wagon anyway, maybe 2 wagons.
probably not
And
while
some
you're here
horses.
though.
No, yeah,
So I do,
like when
as
we
a
get to Drusus to use to go.
as a player, I want to back up a little bit though, disregarding my character's predilection to want to stay and meet Nomi Stark. What is our plan? Because it sounds like our mission has been given to someone else, but the whole team is like, we want to go do our mission, but the mission has been given to someone else.
As
They
of right now,
also want to
yeah.
talk with us.
they've communicated that they want to speak further.
Cool. Zerdik
And
kind of feels like we're going to get fired, and he doesn't really want to leave to go get
Yeah,
fired
but
right now.
if they were gonna fire us, they would just tell us don't come back. I mean, they might not. This might be like that job where they like let all the contractors go and then they had us come back in on Monday to empty our desks, even though we were let go on Friday afternoon.
Right. That's what I was going to bring up. Like they want us to come into the office so they can take our laptop.
Those bastards.
How could they do this to us? All right, so we're going back. Let's go back.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going back. So we go talk to. I did not get the actual spelling of Forest Wizard's name. I have Fancy Wood Wizards. Couldn't hear spelling properly in my notes.
So I guess you better hope that you find the right place.
I mean,
he
I've
knows
got
the area,
a
the
14
wizard part.
intelligence.
Yeah.
And I did go to the forced door when we came at the top of the stairs. So unless the doors move, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Pet Minor Bold Blossom. That's a crazy. I knew it was wild. I didn't know it was that wild. All right, we're gonna go visit. I'm assuming it was Mr. Bold Blossom, but it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to check with them if they have heard anything back from their investigations yet, and convey that we are interested in teleporting back to Drusus.
Okay, so you're going in the morning of your what would now be your third day in Drusus. Your second full day, but your third day in Drusus.
Correct.
Okay.
He's gone on vacation for 5 days.
He's gone on vacation forever. No. So you make your way back to the Bright Force tower, and enter into the tower. So for everybody but Mizeki and Sadzi, this is your first time in here. This tower is massive from the outside. It is 500 feet tall from the outside. As you enter in, it is a tower where it has a large spiral staircase that goes up the center. And as you look up, it's like a spider web of paths that go off onto the different floors. As you begin climbing up to the floor where Archmage Bold Blossom is, you notice that you're never getting closer to the ceiling. Eventually, you reach the door For Bold Blossom, you knock, you hear come in, and the door swings open, and you look inside. Instead of it being an office that you would expect in this building, it opens into a forest.
Is it the same forest?
It is.
Like same time of year and everything? Cool.
Yep.
Hello.
How big are the trees in this forest?
They are massive.
It's an old growth.
Do they? I walk up to like a massive old growth tree and I kind of touch it a little bit. Does it seem like it's a real tree, or is this here in like a pocket dimension? Like, is it feel like a real tree, or like generated for the appearance?
It feels like a real tree, but you get the idea that this isn't a real place, and the whole idea is that everything in here is supposed to look and feel real.
But it certainly
responds
isn't.
like a
It's not like
real
a pocket
tree?
dimension with its real stuff. It's just an illusion.
You're not entirely sure on that.
Okay.
We should try and teleport into the tree later.
6 more levels.
Just come back, teleport in this dude's tree.
Is it only 6 more levels?
Well, it's level 11 for me. Actually, it's level 12 for me because I took a level of cleric.
Yeah. So it's
gonna be a
7
minute.
more levels. So
That's a ways.
7 more levels.
So we're gonna convey to him. We would please like to be teleported to Drusus. Also wanted to check if you'd heard anything back in your investigations. And I forgot to mention before, but several of us are suffering from a fog curse thing. We're not really clear what it is, but if you wanted to investigate us briefly, that is available because we would love to learn more about it.
We're gonna
The
get
fog thing
quarantined
is
now.
from Harrington.
He's gonna be like, "You cannot travel.
Yeah,
you must
just
stay here
COVID.
for 3 months."
2 weeks.
So Archmage Bold Blossom, as you come in and you begin having this conversation, stands up from their meditation pose, walks over to you, looks you in the eye. I am not a cleric. I do not have time for your sufferings.
It was less of a we're suffering from it and more of a if you were interested at all in the arcane aspect of it. But no worries.
You have the circle.
Gonna look at Alandi.
I show him. I flip through my notebook and I show it to him.
He grabs it, takes a look at it, and the payment.
And I'll hand over the $3,000.
Yeah.
He goes,
Look at us, teamwork.
as far as research, I have not heard anything about your Archmage yet. I have reached out to my contacts, and they are investigating further. I will let you know when I hear more. Now, everybody, circle up.
We form a circle,
We do.
including Z2, who
And I-
Zerdig holds to his chest.
I tap my heels together and say, "There's no place like home."
And he goes, on the count of 3. 1, 2, and on 2, you find yourself in the library at
curses!
Drusus.
Bastard.
Bold Blossom looks at you all and goes, thank you. And
Thank
then
you.
vanishes.
Wish I could do that.
What? Bold Blossom?
We are in the correct place, right?
Yes, you are
Yeah,
in
we're
the library
in Drusus.
in Drusus.
He just teleported himself back.
Yes.
He's not gonna chill with us for no reason. He doesn't want to just hang out with us. Pretty cool people.
I mean, you guys haven't really come off that cool yet to anybody in particular.
We should have told them half now, half later if we knew that he was teleporting with us, which he must because he's casting a
That's
spell.
not how asking an archmage to do things for you works, unfortunately. You don't get to tell
True
people
dat.
that can alter reality, hey, I'll pay you the rest later.
All right. So as you are in the library, the attendants of the circle So you come in and go, "Ah, we were told to expect you. Counselor Goodman is waiting in the town hall for you, along with Marble. Please make your way there."
All right,
Who
thank
are
you.
these people?
Don't worry about it. We'll explain as we walk.
Why do I feel like I'm being called to the principal's office?
And by explain, I mean I'm going
Because
to
you're
give
being
Zerdig
called to
a
the
very
principal's office.
yeah. Zerdig's going to get a very high level explanation of what's going on. Basically, these are counselors. We've done work for them. We're going to go talk to them. Be nice and quiet.
I can't wait to see how this goes down. They're like, who is that? Who's that guy?
So you remember last time we left and we came back with a different dude?
You didn't
He
actually. I
turned
guess you
into
did.
an elf.
You did come back with Ito, but Ito's
Yes,
still here.
we did.
The
Yeah.
council never really got the chance to meet Valerian because you met Valerian after
But
talking
they
to the
were
council.
aware of him.
Yes. Because
so every time we leave and come back, there's a different dude.
Yeah, every time actually.
Every
So-
time. That's our power. We pick up dudes.
you pick up dudes.
And then they follow us, and they're always confused.
All right.
Oh Lord.
So you make your way through Drusus to the city hall. There you are greeted by Councillor Goodman and Grand Councillor Marble, as well as Agile and a Asamar that you have met a few times. You have seen her here around. She is the golden shield for Councillor Goodman. And let me find my notes on her. Yes, and she introduces herself as Ivia.
A pleasure to meet you. Is
Hello.
Ivy pretty?
Yes, and she has a very radiant glow about her. Also, since you guys have all spent time in the Hand of God Mountains, passing through a lot of dwarfs, you notice that she also wears the symbol of Brudek Battlebelt, the god of the forge.
Interesting. Zerdig feels right at home.
As you come in, Counselor Goodman goes, "I didn't know how quickly to expect you, but I am glad that you came. We
You
have..."
had indicated you wanted to talk to us.
Yes, indeed. We have some things we would like to discuss with you. Not all of it good.
That does seem to be how that most often goes. This is Zerdig, by the way. We met
Yes.
Zerdig under the mountain.
Yes, Duke informed us that he was your guide under the mountain and elected to stay with you in Harrington. He was surprised when he went through the portal with you to steal, but not all that surprised, seeing as how he had asked him specifically. He thought just he would be going to steal, not all of you.
Yeah,
It was
howdy,
an
I'm Zerdig.
Interesting trip. I need to roll for that. Is that a whiz save? What is it to not laugh at someone?
Probably
That-
charisma
Are you
save.
laughing at Zerdig or are you laughing at the counselor?
Zerdig's bad accent. I'm gonna go deception. I got a 22. I don't laugh at Zerdig's bad accent openly.
Okay.
Yes, we decided it was worth the opportunity to visit the place, and it took us a short bit to arrange for travel back.
Understood. We weren't sure that you were coming back, or when. Steel's an exciting place, and we understand how easy it is to get lost there.
It's a very strange place. Very heavily reliant on the forged.
We also knew that you couldn't use the methods you have been using to get free travel when you shouldn't have been.
When have we done that? Out of character, like, have we done that?
Yes, you have done that a few times.
One time.
You have done it a few times. So
I remember us getting on the boat, and
So
that was council business.
the boat was, but your trips to
Yeah.
Orthrus and Mint were not.
That's fair. I mean, fair.
So
We're being audited, guys.
Oh no. They're looking at our expense reports.
we understand that you're new and that you just thought you could say, "Oh, we're on council business because we sent you on the one mission." We thought we had made it clear when you arrived back that we did not have anything for you when we gave you the letter from Duke. However, later that same day, you took not one, but 2 trips via teleportation to different cities. You went to Orthrus, and then you came back here before going to Mint. That was 3 unneeded teleportations that you said to put on our dime. What do you have to say for yourselves?
I got no clue what you're talking about, sir.
You don't need to say anything. We understand that you were not a part of them at the time. And we understand that you lost your friend who was a part of you at the time. And we
I believe
are...
to a certain extent, it comes down to severe risks to our life that caused us to take what appeared to be an available option for travel to move quickly. The situation in Kuche was not at all what had been described to us initially and escalated, and we're still not sure what has actually happened with that. And it continues to be a situation where we were likely in significantly more danger than was believed.
Yes. And your work in Kuche and everything you did there was fine and acceptable. But it was after you came back to report to us what happened that we are talking about, with your trip to Orthrus and then your trip to Mint. Your initial trip to Mint, where you then traveled down to get on a boat to the wilds, absolutely fine. We approved of that. We told you to do that.
No, yeah, I understand which trips you're discussing.
Then why are you talking about what happened to you in Kuche, as that was already in the past?
We don't have an answer. I believe. I believe the situation was simply we thought we could use that travel method the way it was conveyed to us, and that was not the case. We were not informed. My understanding is that there are no additional costs to a teleportation beyond the temporary inconvenience,
It
which has its own cost.
These spells are not an unlimited resource. Each person that we have man the circles can only do so many times a day. Unneeded uses waste potentially valuable and life-saving uses.
Fair.
Now, we understand that perhaps we did not make it explicitly clear. So, we are not going to make you repay anything this time. But understand, you may only use the circles under council business when you are on council business. You are free to use the circles using your own means, whether you can cast the spell or just pay the attendants to do so, whenever. But you do not get to do so for free unless we have told you specifically to go and do something.
All right. Seems reasonable.
Now, would you like to continue on your mission, your quest to go investigate Typhon's Folly that you said you would go through? We have sent another group, but it never hurts to have multiple people looking into situations.
Our
Especially
understanding,
with situations where people disappear. Yes, I do
our understanding in this
desire to
situation
fulfill
was
that.
that we would save time traveling from Drusus.
It is
And
possible,
the only requirement.
since we do not know where in Typhon's Folly to go, and we do owe you for bringing this to our attention. Typhon's Folly is definitely a bit closer to Harrington than to Drusus, but the cities are more accessible and reachable from here. So we understand your decision for wanting to come here, and with us and you not knowing where to start, an understandable choice.
Also, given our interactions with the mountain folk, it didn't seem the best idea to travel along the mountain without our true guide.
I thought your guide was with you, and they
I
gestured to
meant
Zerdig.
Zerdig doesn't know the area outside of the mountain, and there was conflict occurring in and around the cities,
Yes,
and
Cancer.
we don't know if that's spilled out to outside of the cities much. And so I would rather not go across a largely untraveled trail along the edge of the mountain if we can go along a primary road.
Right. Councillor Coppercroak has informed us of the issues underneath the mountains, but that is underneath, not typically outside of them. But we understand your hesitation.
Is that counselor in the room?
No,
Glitter coat?
It's
Cloak?
Coppercloak.
Coppercloak is not here. It's
Coppercloak,
just
thank you.
Goodman and Marble, which is the island and here.
Yeah, well, Marble's
Well-
the ground counselor.
Yeah, Marble's the Grand, but also the island. Yeah,
Well, Zamza's the specific island. He's from
right,
the
Zam's is
island,
the
from the
specific-
wilds.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah, Marble's the above, which is an extra seat. I always
Mhm.
get that messed up.
So Marble is over everybody, and then each nation has their own.
And Marble's the one that's in hiding, right?
No,
Or is that-
Zams
no,
is
Zams
the
is the
one
one that's hiding.
hiding.
I will ask them, have we heard from Zamza or Zamza's safety? We continue to be concerned.
We have not heard from Zamza since Zamza went into hiding. And we do not know when or if we will hear from Zamza again. And
Would it help?
it may be too late, as the election in the wilds is happening next month.
Would it help if I surrendered this sending stone that I had a connection to Zamza prior to the end of our council business before? I'm not sure if this will help aid in discovering Zamza's location.
No, we can reach out to Zamza on our own. We do not need such items to accomplish that. The situation
Understood.
in the wilds has gotten significantly worse.
What has happened in the wild? Is Bracknell doing okay?
No.
why would they be doing okay considering they've lost one of their head administrators and their counselor has gone missing?
And Shadow finally got his army together and has taken over the city.
Bracknell has fallen.
Bracknell has fallen. We do not believe that there is anything we can do to restore balance and peace before the elections. So the Counselor of the Wilds is about to change.
Has
Can't
there
that be
been any additional?
can't that be suspended though? Can't the wilds be put under like martial law or something?
The person who can do that is hiding.
Well, I guess at this point, yes, we would like to continue investigating the Typhon disappearances. Do you have a suggestion for where we should start?
There are 3 major cities in and near Typhon's Folly. The 2 hamlets who will fight you about which one came first and which spelling is proper. Best to avoid talking about it with any of them. And then the city of Blue Lake, just near Typhon's Folly. You could also go up to Ilixdam if you wish, the elven city on the southern edge of the Joy of Trees, north of Typhon's Folly. But they are far enough away to not be affected by its folly. And Blue Lake is far enough south that they are unlikely to be affected, but they are near enough to the folly that they may know things.
Sounds like one of the hamlets is a good start.
Yeah, take the road to the closest hamlet.
Very well. We will send message ahead to let them know that you are coming and to expect a second group.
Since we have a sending stone that was originally issued to us to communicate with Zamza is no longer effective for council business, is it possible to get a new stone where we may contact you regarding progress of our new mission?
I do not believe you need such a thing anymore. You have grown since your time in the wilds. I believe you have the means to reach out to us without it, as you did this morning.
Understood.
Zerdik has no clue what's going on. He's
Yeah,
just shut up and is nodding his head now.
Do you recommend a particular, what's the word for wagon makers? I don't remember the word. Wagoneer? We're looking to acquire probably 1 to 2 wagons and some draft animals for our road travels.
okay. Um, uh, You could check out the Fast Expedition. They are a store that sells any kind of travel gear that you might need.
Sounds like a plan. And if they don't stop me, Mizeki's going to assume he's allowed to leave now and go. Because need to go to that place.
They don't stop you.
Cool.
Is there any further business we may assist with the council?
One mission at a time.
I do believe it was more of a misunderstanding for misusing the circles. I don't believe any of us, and he looks across to everybody else, was intending to misuse our opportunity and our options for gate travel, circle travel.
We understand. We wanted to make sure that it was explicitly spelled out so it does not happen again, though.
Understood. Thank you for your understanding and consideration.
We
I
will.
believe we will take our leave after this.
We expect to see you at the festival in a few months.
We expect to return,
Okay.
hopefully in less than months, with an answer to what's going on at Typhon's Folly.
We appreciate it. So you guys want to get carts, so you're going to take the road instead of getting a boat to cross Black Pond?
Was aiming more towards wagons. Is it faster to go across Black Pond?
Yes. Taking a boat across Black Pond is faster to get to the northern hamlet, because the roads go
Okay.
down south to where it becomes a river to actually cross,
Okay.
and then
So-
have to go back up north to Hamlet.
So can we caulk the wagons
How
and
much
float
faster?
across?
It's a very long way.
So, what was your question?
Yeah, can we ferry the wagons, or do we need to buy new wagons?
There's not a ferry across Black Pond.
So can we caulk the wagons and sail them across?
No. Not once
Can
you
we
buy
make
in
these
Drusus.
worth a
vehicles
shot.
amphibious?
Not ones you'd buy in Drusus, at least. Perhaps ones you could find in Steel could do that, but not
What
Drusus.
is the what's the travel time by boat across Black Pond?
So across Black Pond by boat will take you 2 days.
And
And
they'll
how
drop
long
us
by
off
road?
near Hamlet.
So it's near Hamlet. It's about a day's journey from Hamlet. The road down will take you about 5 days to get to Hamlet. So you cut 2 days off.
Let's take a boat.
Take a
Yeah.
boat.
And we'll try and see if we can buy stuff in Northern Hamlet.
Okay.
Before we leave, do you have any experts in magical ailments and curses? Because Ore here, is cursed.
And Ito and myself.
I told you guys not to go into that fog.
I mean, honestly, it made us 5,000 gold.
That we spent almost the most of it on teleporting.
Yes, and we would not have been able to return if we hadn't done so.
All right.
Well, if we'd gone to investigate in the first place instead of
We would
carrying
still
off
be
to
on the road.
steal,
We would still be on the road.
Okay.
But 3,000 gold richer.
Assuming we didn't get robbed.
All right, we can take brigands.
Lots of what ifs and whys, and all those questions that you've got to ask
I'm
yourself.
just saying, I had a plan, and everybody was like, okay, that seems like a reasonable-ish plan.
And then it
You
didn't
all
pan out that
agreed.
way.
Yeah, and it didn't work, and we understood it might not work, and like we figured it out.
Right. Okay. Let's see here. Can she do this? spells.
Can't do this.
Spells. No, she is not high enough level to do this. So she can't cast what you need.
Greater restoration.
Yeah, but she will try remove curse. So you watch her come over, place her hands on you. Her eyes light up white as she channels energy into you. Nothing. How do you feel?
Who did she do that on?
Ore. Because that was who she was told. And you've left, Miss Effie.
Yeah, I'm already out of there.
I am feeling the same.
Mm.
Did not quite work, but thank you for your attempt.
I am sorry, it is beyond my current skill.
Understood. Thank you for your trying to help me. And I guess I'll look back at the other counselors. Is there anywhere else that may be able to assist this? We've had several attempts so far that does not seem to remove the effect we're suffering.
Check the temple district. The clerics there. That is what they do, is heal.
There's a church to Thalia in the temple district, right?
There is a church to pretty much every divine here in Drusus. The temple district is
But I
massive.
specifically, right, but
Except
I've
God of the
specifically
Dead,
been to
'cause
the
it
temple
burned
of Thalia
down.
here.
Yeah.
The God of the Dead's temple burned down.
I mean, it got struck by lightning and did burn, but the last time you were here, it was
You must have
rebuilt.
rebuilt it, yeah.
They had repaired it, and it wasn't functioning as a temple anymore, more as a memorial.
I'll go with Ore, and we'll see if we can get him cleared up. If you guys want to go arrange, see if we can get a boat and we can meet up down by the docks.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So Alandiel and Ore, you make your way through to the temple district. Which divine are you looking to go to?
I specifically would probably look for Thalia first, the Star Mother.
I'd follow him to his.
Okay, yeah, easy enough for you to do. You make your way to the Temple of Thalia. It's open during the day, but it's much more active at night for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons, yes.
Yes.
Wasn't there a Furbolg that was the main cleric of this temple?
I believe the Furbolg was in Bracknell.
Bracknell, okay.
Yeah.
But I know I've been to this temple before. I just don't recall who was the head cleric here.
I don't remember if you actually came here during a session. It was one of the things of what do you want to do, and it was off line. So I don't think you ever asked for names or anything. You were just like, I go to do these things. So
right, I thought we did in session at one point. I'm looking through my notes right now, but I cannot recall what the name of the.
Yeah, so
but I would have met the head cleric at this, or a cleric at this temple at one point.
Yeah, you would have met a few, but the Furbolg that you're speaking of, Sarah, was in Bracknell. So yeah, I don't have any notes here that you ever spoke to anybody in my notes about them. So you just went to, check out the temple and do your worships.
Well, didn't we do a night session here and they had telescopes as well?
Nope.
Because we did telescopes in Bracknell. Did we not do telescopes here? I thought we did another night session here at one point.
Nope.
That's fine. Either way, so yeah, we'll go hook up with whoever's at the temple working now.
Okay. Yeah. So you go and make your way to the temple. There, you find the priest who is currently working is a male ASMR, who has just a nice faint glow about him, and from him, looking at him from a distance, it seems as if he has an outline of wings around him, but as you get closer, you do not see any kind of physical wings.
Hello, I am also a disciple of Thalia, and I was wondering if the option for restoration was available. I seem to have been possibly cursed with something that is draining my life force.
So the ASMR stands up, and he's much taller, an imposing figure as he comes down, approaches you. He looks at you and goes, "We can certainly look into this for you and see what we can do. I am Dice, priest of Thalia. It is nice to meet
Dice,
you."
Adice.
Dise, Dice.
Hello, Dice. I am Ore.
Ore. What a fitting name for a worshipper of the Star Mother.
I feel the same.
How many hours have you put in to our temple?
Many months. I started following some devotion in the city of Bracknell at the Obsidian Temple.
Okay. But how many hours have you put in at our temple here in Drusus?
Not many. I did stop here on my last time through town, but not too many hours. Maybe 3 or 4 total
Okay.
here.
Um, so with that, we can investigate and see if we can divine what is going on and what you might need, for no cost. But we may not be able to cure you without you spending some service time in the temple or paying the fee.
You're not a premium deluxe member.
I'm a premium deluxe member of my order.
You have spent a lot of time in your temple, even in Drusus. So,
Yep.
yep.
Understood. Any information you can give me would certainly be beneficial.
All right. Please follow me.
I follow him.
All right.
I follow unless they stop me.
They let you follow. Um, he leads you back through the temple and opens up a door that leads into a room that is completely pitch black, and the walls and everything are black. You can see as the light shines in as the doors are open. As the doors close, everything goes completely dark. With your dark vision, you can see everything is black, but there are no light sources in here at all, so it's hard to make out what's directly in front of you. Eventually, Dice comes over, grabs you by the hand, leads you into a spot which you assume is the center of the room, and indicates for you to sit down, and then does the same with Alondio. As
I
you
take a seat.
sit down, Dice goes into prayer, and you can hear him praying in Celestial to Thalia.
I understand him.
As he does, lights begin to appear on the walls, replicating the stars in the night sky. And then you notice his eyes glow very brightly, and he begins to examine you, looking you up and down, feeling along your arms and the rest of you to get an understanding of your energy and your aura. As he does this, you notice certain stars on the walls begin to glow brightly. And he mumbles some things in Celestial. And then everything goes dark again. He taps you on the shoulder, gets you to stand up, leads you to the door, and opens you back up into the temple.
Did the stars displayed on the walls and the ceiling represent the current night sky, or it just was it like a static configuration of stars?
Um, make a nature check.
That is a 14.
Okay. So trying to gather your bearings of which way you were facing in there, you're fairly certain that it was a representation of the stars as they should be tonight from the view of the temple. So if you were in the
Gotcha.
backyard of the temple looking up, that should be a replica of what you see.
Okay, so the stars were fluid to the configuration of the room as the night sky is to the city.
Yep.
Cool.
And then Dice looks at you and goes, "You have been affected with a great curse of the gods. Not easy to overcome. A remove curse cannot break their spell. However, we do believe that a greater restoration could ease it over time, and that over enough time, you will just be healed naturally."
So with enough time, I can beat this curse, if not for the need for a spell of greater restoration.
Supposing that you do not get inflicted with it such again, yes, time should be all that you need, and a greater restoration should help speed up the process.
Thank you so much for this additional information. Do you know how much time is required to beat this curse at present?
I have no idea, but given how deep it is inside of you, and how thoroughly it is throughout your body, I expect it could take months.
Thank you again. I appreciate that. Um, what requirements would you need, or would the priests here need to initiate a greater restoration spell?
So, a greater restoration spell takes 100 gold worth of diamond dust per casting, in addition to the time and effort of the priest who has to cast it. We charge 1,000 gold per casting of the spell. Those who work in the temple enough hours can get these services for free, and those who work in the temple at all can get it at a discounted price. You, being a follower of Thalia, if you work in the temple once a week, you may get it at a 50% discount, so 500 gold per casting. If you instead devote a month of time here straight, you may have it for free.
Understood. Feels like a fair offer. Unfortunately, I work with a group that is currently on a mission, and I do not have that time available to me at present. But if I am able to return, I will certainly devote more of my time to the works of Thalia. Thank you again for all of your service. I appreciate it greatly.
You are welcome. Thalia be with you.
With you as well. Thank you so much again, my friend.
All right.
And then I'll look to Alondiel, kind of give him a
And
nod.
yeah, and I'll as we leave, I'll be like, let's go over to Wales temple.
Okay.
How much money do you got on you?
Very little at
Very
this
little.
point.
Okay.
Very little. I'm down to 8 gold at present.
So not even enough for components. Okay.
Right. So Alondiel, making your way over with Ore to Wales Temple, you are greeted there by the priests you have met with before. Where did I put their names? Because I know that you spoke with them. So let me go grab them. Or did... Oh, you never asked for their names. That's why I don't have their names in my notes. You just asked them questions. But you have put in time here. So they give you the spiel, very similar to what Ore got. But given your work, you are entitled to a casting at a discounted rate of only 300 gold for this.
As an acolyte, I believe I only need to pay components.
Is that your background?
Yes.
Let me take a look at that.
The shelter of the faithful, and that's why I asked him, like, how much money do you got? Because if we can buy you some diamond dust, we can get you your
Well, I
spell.
do have that. I do have that emerald of 250 gold, so it's close. Not quite enough, but it's certainly close.
I mean,
Oh, that's
it's a
enough to
100
get
gold
us
piece of diamond
component.
dust, and I know Alondio has diamonds.
Yeah, but I need those diamonds for reviving components.
Right.
We could probably find somebody though that can swap your emerald for diamond dust.
Sure. Or if
Yeah,
they would
so
take it
I'll
in
front.
trade.
We'll do a trade because I need diamonds for resurrections, but
Sure.
I've got diamonds that I can give them to cast the spell for you.
Yeah, Shelter of the Faithful says what Alondiel said.
Okay.
So he just needs component costs.
Yep. So yeah, so it's just 100 gold for you with your
Okay,
background.
I'll provide them with.
Actually, with your background and the time you've put in, you can get a free.
Cool. Can we get him my punch card?
Yeah.
Heal.
Okay.
Could we get Mazeki and Ito as well to remove their curses with this
It's single target. Great
potentially?
restoration.
Yeah, Greater Restoration can only target one, and so he'll have one free casting with his time that he's put in.
But I can material component for the other two.
Yeah. So if you want to gather the others, do you want to wait to see what happens to Ore first, or do you want to go find the others before you do it?
I'm
We'll
okay guinea pigging the first one.
we'll do Ore first, and then we'll be able to report back to them because they're busy getting the
Okay.
boat. So if it works, we can bring them back before heading out.
Okay. All right. So you go to the temple. You are greeted there by one of the elven priests, Carwin Silent Might, who remembers you from your visits and looks at you and goes, "What can we do for you today?"
In Elven, I explained to him that my friend here has been grievously afflicted by a folly curse, and we come seeking aid through greater restoration to help cleanse, as lesser restoration and remove curse have been insufficient to the task of healing him.
Very well. And do you have the components for us to cast the spell?
I talk to him all about like the services that I've done here and literally at every temple of Otterwell we've stopped at.
He goes, "Ah, yes, I recall that you have been here many a time."
No, but I have a punch card.
And he goes, "It does appear that you have put in enough hours to earn the cost cover of this, so we can cast the spell. A greater restoration, was it, on your friend?"
Correct.
All right.
And then I wave Ore forward.
All right.
Ore steps forward.
All right. And so he steps up next to you and casts greater restoration. And as he does, you feel a bit of energy surge back into you, but you don't feel whole yet. You don't feel complete. However, now instead of being reduced to 1/4, it is now only reduced to 1/2 of any healing given to you.
I feel a little better. It certainly has had an improvement, but I'm still feeling a little less than the 100% that I had felt before. Certainly substantial. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds like you may need a few treatments. As long as you may cover the cost, Alandiel, we will continue to cast the spells for you.
In Elven, I greatly thank him for the services that he's rendered and continue to pledge my devotion and assistance to serving and spreading the will of Otterwell.
Okay.
And Ore will extend his appreciation as well. Thank you so much for. You have certainly alleviated a substantial weight of that life drain that I was experiencing.
All right.
Thank you.
While this is happening, the rest of you went to go get a boat. We will say that was easily successful and call our session there. So thanks
Hooray, boat.
everybody for coming out, for hanging out with us on this session. And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.